Hello everyone, welcome along today. Welcome to our first proper stream. So today we're going for a dead reckoning as we fly from point to point across the famed Brazilian forest. Our flights today should be fairly long. We're looking at about 15 minutes per leg. Of course, as you've been reading, we're going between 4 destinations today. And we're in my lovely Caribou aircraft. You can purchase this from the Xplane.org store. It retails for a little under £20, I believe. It's a very nice piece of kit, looking absolutely lovely. So I'm really pleased with this. I do recommend it if you're looking at doing bush flying. It's got some great performance capabilities which make it perfectly and suitably ideal for bush flying and bush flying adventures alike. Now you're probably wondering, what is this camera down in the bottom right of Pillar Pilot Stream? Well, it certainly is a camera. So I put my hand underneath it. And hey presto, you can see me. So we also are going to showing off that today, and we're going to do some cool navigation via using an actual map. So no moving maps, no navigraph, no nothing, no flight plan really. We're just going to be using the wind and the speed of our aircraft and the altitude to work out where we're going. So we'll just set up the merchandise then in the corner. Some good opportunity for promotion. If you haven't already got your merchandise, you can go purchase it from our store. There's some great selections from mugs to all sorts of things, as I will now show you. So if we quick have a look, our first selection today, I really recommend I purchase for myself, is the Pillar Pilot mug. Here it comes. A great product, retailing for $16. I really recommend you go check that out. We'll keep an eye on that during the stream. And then of course the Pillar Pilot mask, which I'll put up in the top of the navigation thing, so we can have a look at that. But I really recommend you go grab yourself a mask, especially at the moment. It's very important. Brilliant. So what we're going to do, we're going to hop into the aircraft and begin our startups, and then we'll go ahead and look at our flight plan. So you can see we've got the engine cowling open there, and if I just zoom out a little bit, actually have a look at where we are. We're literally on the edge of, this is our runway down here, by the way. We're landing in some serious gravel strips. Should be great fun. We've just flown in here today, and we're making the run round that triangle you can see on the camera. So I'll put that in a minute. Right, if we hop inside then, I've got track IR enabled, so if you just bear with me. And then... Right, cool, so... Track IR's on. Let me just lean in actually and reset that, so... I just reset the track IR. It's about all setting up the positions here. That's a bit much. That's better. Okay, cool. All setting up here. It's been a while since we streamed, as we all know. So, welcome to the flight deck of the Caribou. It's a lovely looking plane, so I'll just get rid of the navigation desk for a second. So it's a lovely plane, one of my favourites now. I've come to really love it, and it's really nice. Sit quite low in the flight deck here, that's partly it, but of course if we look to our left, look, you can see we're actually quite high. It's got a very high rise on the aircraft. Which is interesting for a plane like this. Great modelling from these guys that made it down here. You see the nice I love my Caribou. If we look at the first off the side, a Snickers bar, all sorts of things. So, you know, details that are nice to see. It comes with no startup procedure. So I had to work this out for myself. It took a while. So what we're going to we're going to get some fuel on board the aircraft today. Payload weight, we really don't have much. We're only expecting to be airborne for about 15 minutes or so we'll carry an extra 5-10 minutes of fuel, so we'll do about 25 minutes of fuel. Our payload weight, we're fairly heavy, but of course going into these places you can't have too much weight, so we'll weigh about that. Fantastic. Performance wise, the aircraft, you just sort of got to feel when it begins to lift up, so that is what we're looking for. So we've got auto feather. We'll first check this. We're going to have a look. We're now going to have a look at the fuel panel. So if we have a look across here, this is our fuel panel up here. You can see the fuel quantities here. So we're going to turn on the fuel boost pumps 1 and 2, and now we're going to head down and get the initial power on. So push the stick out of the way, and the battery's on. So both inverters on. You got to remind me to turn on the generators. I forgot to do it last time. Made for a very interesting flight, so we got to remember to turn them on. I set up our QNH. We're at 1,100 feet here. It's quite high all around all these airports we're flying at. We're going to close up that engine cowl, so that's behind us here. So we have a look. We're going to close up the engine cowl. Oh no, I opened it. Oops, I opened the other one. I meant to close both of them. There we go. Engine cowl's closing. There's obviously some maintenance going on they were doing with the engine there at that time, so that's why they had that set up. So now we've got the batteries on, we're going to get some basic lights on. So, apologies, I've got to get these cam positions right. Very different to that in some of my other planes. Right, nav and beacon lights on, because we're pretty much going to get starting up. De-icing wise, we're at 31 degrees here, so I'm not expecting any de-icing. Turn up some of the lighting brightnesses. You can see the lights gone. Because we're on VATSIM, we've got to set up our radio. So COM1, we do this through this little gizmo here. So we're just going to type in our COM1, I think. We go, yeah, like this. Literally no controllers online. Oh, you have to click. Just tune in 122, that's late. We're not using this. I'm making that very clear. We're not using this. We've got our lovely lovely map that we're using today, so I don't know how you get rid of this. Just, like, we're not looking at that. It doesn't really show us anything anyway, so that's fine. We're not looking at that. Right. Next thing, we're going to make sure our fuel cutoffs are set in the right position. Should be up. That's good. On to the overhead then. You see here we've got our props, because of course we've got props now. We can actually feather the props, and if we have a look outside and have a look at the props themselves, you'll see that they're feathering and they're non-feathering. So they're currently feathered, and then I put them into full mode, so we get loads of air of them, and then they go back into feather. So we want to have them at sort of full for takeoff, and then we balance it up during mid-flight. So we'll just leave them at full. Our ignition can go to both. Carb heat, we don't really need any carb heat at the moment. It's 31 degrees, as I said, so it's nice and warm, so we don't really need that. You can see our throttles 1 and 2, and that's what we're going to be using today. It has got reverse thrust. You can see it then goes forward when you go into reverse thrust. That's how it works. Flaps, all sorts of good stuff. So, we're happy with the lightings and everything. So, what we're going to do is before we start the engines, I'm going to make sure we have our fuel pumps on. The engine pressure systems are good. And the lightings and aircraft is ready. Right, so now we're going to do our little bit of navigation to work out actually where we're going for this flight. So we'll leave the doors and stuff open whilst we begin our profile. You see we're quite a big plane compared to these little guys down here. So it's quite cool. It's a nice thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the navigation desk over here so you guys can see where we're going. I'm going to make it fairly big so you can see what I'm doing as we go across here. So bear with me whilst I move over there. Oops, sorry, I jumped into the microphone there. Right, so we're down at our navigation desk here. So, what we're going to do, we've got to work out where we're going for this flight. I hope you can still hear me. Let me know in the chat if you can. So for this flight, we're going to be taking a nice sort of 3-point exercise. So we're going from this one here, actually ignore this plane symbol, we're going from this one here, making our way down to SJYJ for our first leg of the flight. So, if I get my pencil up from over here, my little notes of what we're up to. Today, we're going when we take off, we're going to want to. We've got a 3.3 centimeter flight. That's in the map scale. So to work out how long that actually is going to take is if we grab our calculator over here, we're going to times 13.3 by our scale today, which is 3.63, to get a number of 48.279. So I'm going to record that in my little notebook there for the rest of the calculations. So we've got 48, if you have a look here. 48, that's descent waypoint. These all. You see, this is my notebook from when I go ever flying, even on streams and everything. I use this one. So 48.279. So we now know the mileage that this leg is down to SJYJ. So now we know our mileage. What we're going to do is so now we know the mileage. We're going to calculate the time that it's going to take us to fly this leg. So by doing that, what we're going to do is we're going to do our distance over our speed. So I'm looking to cruise at 160 knots. And because we've got 2 knot tailwind, it's going to be 162. So if we go on our calculator, go on to a fraction mode here, we're going to put 48.279, sorry, 279 over our speed, which is for today 162. Yep. So now we've done that, we're going to just hit enter, and we've now got a percentage of time that the flight's going to take. So we can know it's going to take just a little under half an hour. So now we're going to times it by 60 to get our time in minutes. And we can now see that it's going to be a 17-minute flight. So it's going to take us 17.88 minutes. Using a flight computer? No flight computer today, just calculating it manually, of course. A little bit random from our normal stuff, but difficult, as always is. So, now we know how long it's going to take us. We've got 17.8 mins of flight. So I've got to remember to stopwatch that when we get into the air. Right, so accounting for wind, we've got a 3 knot tailwind, so we don't really need to account for wind. What we are going to do is roughly measure using our protractor here how what the heading that we're going to be flying on, because that's very important for navigation. So it looks to be about 82, I'd say 81. So then we're going to do 360 minus 81, and that gives us 279. So that is going to be our heading for today's flight. So we know it's going to take 17 minutes on a heading of 271. Was it 271? I think it was 271. 360 minus, what do we say, 81. Oh, I turned it off. 360 minus 81 is equal to 279. So I got that wrong. 279 degrees. Fantastic. So, I'm just going to leave this here, head back over into the plane, and we'll begin this leg. So, bear with me a moment as I move over. Good, so here we are, back in the plane again. So let's hop into the flight deck. I've got track IR still on, I've got to remember that. That's why it's all moving around haywire here, but let's get back into normal position. So, 279 degrees, well, to work that out, to put it into the plane, we have got an autopilot on this, we've got heading and altitude mode, but it'll only hold what you're doing, so I can dial it in on this, so we're just going to I'm going to turn off track actually so I can have a look in where we're going. So we zoom in on our heading thing and we're going to turn it around to 279. I should have gone the other way. We'll go all the way around. Dial this little orange bug up to 270 knots. There's 279. As I said, we've got 3 knot tailwind. It's from the west. It's from 090. On a flight such as this, it's really negligible winds, so we don't need to worry about that too much. Hopefully you can hear Xplane. Let me know if you can't. I've got the sounds quite loud. Of course, the engines are very loud, but we haven't got them yet. Right, so now we know that. All we've got to do is time our flight distance and flight length. Using a stopwatch, which I'm going to get up, so that as soon as we take off, turn on the heading, and the stopwatch goes on, and we're good. So, clock, getting the stopwatch up. I'll set that going when we get into the air. Right. So we're ready to go. We've got the fuel pumps on, we've got everything going, we've got ignition to both, and we're going to try and start engine number 1. So if I turn on track IR, looking to our left at the engine, hold down the starter. Should start if I did everything right. There we go. I think she's live. Yep. It's alive. Right. We'll close up the back doors. Cargo ramp and doors closed. There they go. They're closing. Is she still alive? Yeah, just not inhaling much air, of course, because we're at a standstill. Right, starting engine number 2. Here we go. holding down the starter button, you can see the prop spinning. And it's alive. We're looking at the RPM gauges down there. See them both rev up together, the nose gets pushed down. I'm happy the engine is started. Cool. Right. Bear with me 1 second. I realised I've made a slight navigation error. Bear with me, I've just got to sort this one out. Right, okay, now there we go, we've sorted out heading. It's going to be 267 heading, so we'll just dial that back. 267, we made a slight error in our calculation. There you go, 267 on the heading set. That makes it a little bit more sense. We are actually heading down, sort of, from south, so I'd be annoyed if we head the wrong way. Right, hopefully at the right airport. Before we take off, I'm going to have one check of the map, just to make sure I have got the right airport that we're at. The airport we're going to does exist. Yep, there she be. We're good. I'm happy. Okay, so we're going to release... Oh, no, hold on. There you go. Almost made the mistake I thought I'd make. Didn't turn on generators almost there. That would have been a very short flight indeed. Generators 1 and 2 on. Okay, now we get the landing, taxi, and strobe lights on because we're pretty much ready for takeoff. We're very, very good. Happy to go. Tracker on. Release our parking brake. Take lots of power to get up the hill here. There you go, she's rolling. Here's our runway for today. It's a very short runway. I never trust that we can get up, so what we're going to do is taxi down to the end of the runway, spin it around and come back this way, because going over the river we have a lot more elevation. So we're going to go down there. So we're going to apply some power. We're just taxiing down the runway, and it's called a backtrack. Go down, spin her around at the other end. Right. Okay, what I'm going to do is just set up track on our way down, so making sure I don't go too quick, because it might take off. As I say, we're just backtracking down the runway at 60 or 70 knots or so. No, sorry, 30 odd knots. It takes off about 60 this place, so you have to really watch it for it. She lifts off into the air very easily. So we're going to set flap 3 then. Quite a steep volume of flap, but as I say, getting off from these small bush fields, you really have to get lots of flap and lots of pitch and get it right up into the air. Once we're in the air, we're looking for about 2,000 RPM. I've got my stopwatch here. I'm getting ready to time 17 minutes on that heading. We're going to come around to that heading as soon as possible. Taking off from the other direction does mean it'll take a longer turn round to that heading. But what it also means is that we won't have to. This sort of climb out at the end here by these trees is very steep. So I would not want to be climbing right up over the top of them. Whereas it's much easier to climb out over the river with a bit of sort of lag, slag, and the sort of aircraft dips a little bit on departure. So that's good. So we're happy to do so. We'll spin it around here. It has to go quite slow to turn around the Caribou. It's got quite a spindly little nose wheel right at the front of the engine, so lots of power on the corner. So stop there. Power on the corner. Take her around, locking the right brake. We'll spin right around the wheel. Back off the power, and there we are. Straight. Fantastic. We're all happy for departure. We've got the fuel on, lights are on, gear is locked down in the down position. We're about to pull it up in the air. We're looking to rotate about 60 knots or so, and then cruise about 160. It's not a very fast bird. We've got the feathers set to full, so we're getting as much air to the engines as possible. And here we go. Line up with the runway and full power. RPM goes into the red. That's fine. Okay, speed building. 50, 60, we're airborne, pitching up. Surprise or not, we don't actually hit the trees, the wings are not that wide, and the gear can go up. So I'll leave the gear down actually. That beeping noise is when I put the gear up too low, it doesn't like it at all. Okay, keeping the power on then, I'm going to make the right hand turn, sorry, left hand turn, it's left actually. Following the river, around left, nice and gently whilst keeping the climb rate. So it's quite a difficult art to balance it, it turns very quickly this plane, so I don't need to turn that steep. Drifting around, we've got a bit of wind around here today, so that's what's causing that. We're going to drop the nose climb rate a bit because we're not really gaining speed, and there's our heading, so drop the nose. I'm going to keep manual flying for a little bit longer, dropping the nose a little bit, dropping the climb rate. There we go. Right, we're just gently climbing now. I'm trimming it down to make it so we're nice and flat. Raise it up to flap 2. I'll put the gear up now. It likes you to wait for, especially in this aircraft, the gear go up quite late, because of course it doesn't really, in such a plane, make much of a difference to the way the aircraft flies. I'm going up to flap 1 now. Oh, you see it suddenly dropped there. I'm going to trim back up. There you go. Trim the nose slightly down. That's better. Drop the climb rate slightly. We don't want to climb quite that fast. Remembering the ground's at 1,000 feet. I'm going to start my timer. I was a little bit slow on this one actually. Oh, there we go. Stopwatch on. Oh, that was a little bit slow. And remember we said we're looking for 17 minutes 88 seconds. So switched off then, so we're on the timer. Carrying up, I've got to get the heading right there. We'll get the autopilot on in a minute, I'm not flying this very well. Right, spin it around. We've still got flap 1 here because the speed's not quite high enough to allow for flap 0. So let's turn off track IR, blip down here towards the autopilot panel and have a quick go at setting that up. So we'll turn on our heading mode, vertical speed mode, and we're just going to boost it up. It's about 1,500 or so, that's where we did. Autopilot goes on. We can turn off our taxi lights, and we'll leave our landing lights on because we're quite low. But there we go. So now what we're doing, we're looking for 160 knots. So you can see we're hovering just over 110 or so. And you see it's starting to drop slightly actually. So what we'll do is we'll raise flaps. You see the flap going up there. Speed will suddenly jump. But of course our vertical speed will drop slightly. We'll have to pitch the nose up a bit higher. Right, we're actually in cloud at this altitude. So what I'm going to do is actually lower the nose because we don't want to be in cloud. So I didn't quite pay attention there. So we're going to drop the altitude back down to a much lower, much lower altitude. I think if we're through the altitude about 4,000, we'll do about 3,500, which is only about 2,500. So you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's low. Right, the speed is jumping up 170. So back off the prop, and what we're going to do is actually turn the RPM rev and everything down to where it should be, which is a much lower position. Okay, we're back through clouds now actually. What else is that? Just 4,000, okay, we can set 4,000 then. 4,000 engaged. Right, it's going to hold us at 4,000. So, backing off the power then, because we've got we're going to balance it. We're going to put the props, we're feathering them slightly so that we hold about 2,000 RPM on the engines. And we can increase the throttle quite a lot, but as long as we have those RPM down, we're perfectly happy with what we're doing. So we'll back off because we've been going a little bit quick on that departure there. We'll get better and better as I go around the loop today. Right, there's 160 knots, so I'm going to apply more power to get us back up, just about, I think it hovers about there. And for the rest of the flight, we're just looking to balance the power with where we, with our throttle percentages and our throttle points. Good, we're then looking for the temperatures, and we're monitoring the engines. You see, the right engine seems to be revving a lot higher than the left engine. So there we go, back that down a little bit so they're a bit more equal. I've got to apply a little bit of power because I'm noticing there we're dropping. You see the numbers rolling down slightly. Have a look outside, then you can see we're cruising along nice, weird streaks coming off the wings. I guess we're going a bit quick. We've got a slight nose down angle to hold the speed. So maybe on the next leg we'll learn to back it off a little bit because maybe 160 is a bit too quick for the plane, especially one of this age. Right, we'll leave the ignition on both. That's happy with that. We've got our generators on. Our landing lights can go off now. So we're no longer intending to land or take off. I dabbed the brakes after departure to make sure they stopped spinning. So that's nice. We're now going to have a look at our airport that we're arriving into. So head over to the navigation table. I'll catch you in a minute. Sorry it takes a while to move across, it's a table near me, so I have to move across. So we can see then, here, we've got the runway here, and the airport points across. We've got a runway 09 and 270 degrees. The airport's in a valley, although what we're doing is as we fly along, we're going to be coming in from here, from the west, going across. So we're going to move across like this. So as we come in from the west, we're going to come across. Well, what we'll do is expect to see the airport here. I'm actually going a little bit quick. Let's back off the throttle a little bit. But we're expecting to come across here and go. What we'll tend to do, we'll go across the runway, round and go in that way, landing on runway 270. That sets us up nicely for the next one. So landing on runway 270. Then here we are. Here's the airport. It's fairly spaced out at this end of the runway. Quite packed trees this end, so it's quite a steep descent. Then if we have to go around, we have quite an open plateau to accelerate over if we had to go around. But descending steeply is not something this plane does particularly well. It prefers to have a nice gentle descent, is what I've found. And anyway, when I say steep descent, I literally mean trees right at the edge of the runway. So we'll have to see. We're going to do a low flyby over the airport. If it looks like we prefer to come in from this direction, spin it around, go in that way. If it looks like we prefer to come in from the other direction, we'll go across and land that way. At this place there is one hut here, so we'll taxi down that end. There's a little stopping pad you can see, so whichever way we land we'll turn around and go back, or we'll stop there as our little turnaround pad. Sorry, so the grounds look quite close there. So we'll turn around at the little turnaround pad, refuel and move on to the next airport. So we're looking to come across in from this westerly direction across. So that is not too bad, but we've got to be keeping an eye out for the... So we're 6 minutes into our 15-minute leg, sorry, 17-minute leg. This is the longest leg of our flight today. I can have a look at the ground here. We're coming a little bit close up to it. I can see we're quite close to the ground around us here. If I go on outside view, you see we're very close. There's no radar altimeter on this aircraft, so we have to rely all on altimeters. Of course, it said we remember 1,100 was the initial altitude. SJMH, however, is probably quite different. I didn't make a call on VATSIM. That's the one mistake I have made. I did not call on VAT Simulator, so I need to fix that. Landing SJMH then. Sorry, SJ. No, not SJMH. SJYJ. That's the one. The weather there, we've got 3 knots, transitioning from 3 knots west to 1 knot south. So if it's 27 and 09, it doesn't really matter what runway we land on. So that's not a problem. Glad the engines sound good, so I haven't really been keeping on the chat. Right, and then the cloud base is not bad, the wind's pretty good, the pressure, we're looking at what? The pressure being... I think I say on windy.com. I'm having a look. I don't know if you can see that. You can, but I might get copyrighted if I share it. So well, I'll do it over here, and then I'll tell you what I'm seeing. Looking for pressure. I'm scrolling down the list here, looking for the pressure. So pressure looks to be around 1008, which is a little bit less than what we departed with 110. Which is to be expected, given where we're flying. So we're holding 4,000 nicely at 108. We'll dial in a second. Looking at our fuel, you can see the needle is low. We don't have much fuel flight time past our 17 minutes. There's 8 minutes of flight time there, so we haven't got a lot, much too long left. Casey in Discord said he's working. I'm sorry, Casey. You're missing a very different stream to what we're normally doing. We are streaming the BAE 146 tomorrow, so hopefully you can make that. But I'm sorry you can't make this one. Well, I'd like to do it again though. It seems good fun. I like it too. Yeah. There's 9 minutes as well, so we're making good progress here. I'm going to sort out my captain's view because what I don't like about this, we feel like a little bit too close. So seat-wise, we're not, but like we are. Do you know what I mean? And we are actually quite close. So if we boost it up a little bit as well, that feels a bit better. So what I'm going to do is just reset this as a new camera.
Added camera 9 to category
this
cockpit.
This is X camera, by the way. It allows me to move around with track IR. See the one there should be. Take that one. Cool. Disable cameras.
Camera saved.
Yeah. Basically, it allows me to use track IR, which I normally can't do. So that's good. I'm just going to do a quick sound check. I hadn't actually done one. We're still chugging along. There goes 10 minutes. We've got a bit of time to go before we need to start looking. But let's just do a quick sound check. Back in a minute. Cool, that still seems good. I think I sound alright. Cool. So it's 4,000 feet, but as I said, it's not 4,000 feet. So as we are starting to approach our airport, then, because we've now got the timer to go. Stopwatch-wise, we're up to 10 minutes 36. We were going a little bit fast there. We're just tipping off the end of 160. It's about as good as you're going to get. We had a bit of a tailwind, so it's roughly 17 minutes. But remember, we're looking at that image. Bring it up on the bottom left, you can see there's the airport, that little sort of speck that I've circled in yellow and said airport next to. That's in the top left, that's an enhanced image of the airport. So you see we're going to be flying in. We should go right across it if our headings are right. A bit of mountains to the right of the airport, generally quite a flat area. We're looking at quite some heavy mountainous areas for now, so obviously we're not quite in the right location. Otherwise we'd be in a more of a valley area. So we're not quite there yet, I'd assume. Cross feeds, we don't need to worry about cross feed, but what I do know is I did put too little fuel in. Been a while since I flew this plane. We have put in too little fuel, so definitely boost our fuel content for the next run. Cool. So in this aircraft we can select where the fuel comes from, fuel cross feeds. We've got a nice heading and climb into space here. So they've done a really good job of modelling it. And it's a great fun thing to do. So fun plane to fly. So what I managed to do, I made a call on Unicom. I didn't make one before. So I'll just make a call now. So Oscar Hotel Echo November in North Brazil. We're flying from Sierra Juliet Mike Hotel to Sierra Juliet Yankee Juliet DCT, and from then on up to Sierra Whiskey Alpha Echo Oscar Hotel Echo November. That is not bad. So 12.5 minutes then. I'm just keeping an eye on this left engine. We want to make sure it looks good. Nothing wrong. Great details actually. You can open this window, which of course when you're this low, doesn't matter, but does cause a little bit of drag. So let me know in the comments what you think of this plane. I really like it. I think it's a really nice plane. I think it's really cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slow down. We're thinking to do about 140 knots or so for our next flight, next leg, because you can see we're creating these vapor trails and the nose is almost pointing down. So what I'm either going to do is boost up the weight a bit, or I think we'll probably take more cargo actually on this level, because we're just 160 knots is top of the green, which is where we should be cruising really. So I think we'll just increase a bit of weight for our next flight. There seems to be a mountain ahead of us, which is we might have to climb over. So I might take manual control, but it depends. I think our SJYJ is in here somewhere. So I'm maybe not quite at this point. We're just over 13 minutes. 13 minutes of flight time, so we're still keeping an eye on the engines. You can see over here, we're looking at our carb temperatures down here. Cylinder heads, they're just in the greens. The oil pressures are in the greens. RPM is in the blue, but the RPM is also in the green, so that's fine. Thrust drive is just over 60%, a little bit more on the right engine than we are on the left engine. That's fine. There's always some slight deviation between engine, so that's not too much of a worry. If you haven't already, please go check out the Pillar Pilot merchandise. We've got lots to offer, all at fairly reasonable prices, and all of the money goes to helping to make new content with new, cool, interesting planes. So please, every donation really matters. So thank you very much, and please like and subscribe. We're at 147 last I checked, which is really impressive to have come from about 23, I believe, just under a year ago. So that's really amazing. So thank you guys. Let's keep going. Thank you. There's 15 minutes, so 2 minutes now. Because we're going a little bit fast, we're going to be looking out for the airport. I do have a VFR map as well, so I might be checking that to make sure that we're heading over the right mountains and things that I was expecting to go over. But apart from that, we should be roughly in the right place. There's a big hill here, so what I'm going to do is actually turn off the autopilot. Make sure it's trimmed out nicely. There goes the autopilot. That annoying beep. What I'm going to do is take manual control. Nice and flat there. Alright. Pitch up the nose, we'll just pull over this hill. I hadn't anticipated this hill. I assume it's the little bit, if we have a look on the VFR thing here, I assume it's that little, see the sort of, I can't point to it, but can you see the sort of shady, mountainy, greeny thing before the runway? I assume it's sort of this area. So hopefully we are in the right place. So I'm going to pitch up the nose, so we're quite low. That's quite a big hill. So we'll just climb. We are going to go into cloud here. So I just got to hope we're climbing at the right rate. This is not very good. And there it is. So we're just going to try and tiptoe just below the clouds. So we'll go quite low over this one. There's 16 minutes 35 seconds. We were looking for 17.8 minutes. So now looking out, looking left, looking right. We held the heading. I've drifted slightly right of the heading since I took manual control. But on a flight like this, it doesn't matter too much about the deviation. We might have already overflown the airport. This is a lot more mountainous area than I remember being in. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to check on our fuel quantity and how much flight time that means we have. So look at the imbalances. Okay, we have 5 minutes of flight time remaining. So that's a little bit worrying. I didn't put enough fuel in potentially. Right, we're back on heading then. There goes 17 minutes, 17 seconds. So the airport should be anywhere around here a minute. So just looking out, I'm looking left, I'm looking around, trying to find the airport. A little bit hazy, the weather today, so it's difficult to see. I don't remember it being mountainous around this airport. That's the one thing I do say. Don't remember it being this mountainous. Might have to switch the weather to clear weather to be able to actually see for the purposes of this stream. So I'm just sort of weaving right to left, seeing if that gives me a better perspective of where the airport is. The more grass you see out the more trees you see out the window, the easier it is to spot, of course. Well, there goes 18 minutes, so we should be over the airport now. So I'm going to make a right roll around here. Of course, we could have been a bit slower. All depending on winds. With 5 minutes of flight time to go, though, whatever happens, we can't spare too much flying around doing nothing. Got very low RPM on, so that's fine. But we do need to see if we can see this airport now. So what I'm going to do is make this turn around the corner here. I go around and do a circle here. We're slowing down to 130 knots. I just noticed there. That's fine. Back off the speed. Roll it right. It should be in this valley somewhere. I think it was further on our present heading actually. I think I've turned off a little bit too early. Getting a bit nervous that we might not be there. There goes 19 minutes. Ooh, let it descend a bit too much in that turn there. There goes 19 minutes. So we were expecting to be over the airfield at this point. Potentially even on the ground. So we are overshooting by quite a lot, which we only have 5 minutes of flight time left. So we've only got about 4 minutes now. This could be the end of us. This shows that you've got to do proper navigation. Okay. I don't see any sign of it. Original heading was over left. I'm going to do a full 360 actually. I'm going to spin her around. I think we were overshot it maybe. Let me know in the chat where you think the airport was. Right, there's some big clouds ahead of us, so we don't really want to be tempting into them. Okay, it's not in this valley. We can be sure it's not in this valley. So if we move out, I think we have to fly through the storm clouds actually. I'm looking at that fuel quantity. It's getting very low. So we're going to reduce our RPM as much as we can now. We have to fly through this storm clouds, so I'm going to actually descend to get underneath it. Backing off the RPM there. I'm trying to drop it to as low as possible. Of course, the lower the RPM, the less fuel you burn. And drop our RPM. There we go. We're going into the cloud. I'm sort of moving around here, trying to see the airport, trying to see what I can get in the way of just vision. I don't think we're in the right area, so okay. Well, I'm gonna have a quick check on the moving map. I know this is cheating. I'm very reluctant to, but I honestly don't know. Looking for that airport. It should be across the mountain, so okay, resume our original course. And boost the RPM back up. We went under the cloud there, so a bit low. Okay, people. Right, let's have a quick check of this moving map just to see if we're anywhere near. We should be. Oh, we've gone way past it. Okay, right. Well, we'll spin it around and go back. Right. Okay. I thought we'd been flying for. Yeah. Well, we've been flying for 21 minutes now, so I guess we have gone past it. Okay. That's the only look we're having at the moving map. But our original course look, actually, if I'd have followed the original course, we'd be a little bit south of it. By a couple of degrees, we were just a bit south. That's alright, it just means we're going to have to struggle to get back now. I hope we've got enough fuel. Alright, there's the direction we want. Level wings, level aircraft. So, I didn't mean to do that. Right, 060, flying on the heading now. So now it's a question of being as efficient as possible with our speed. You can see the vapor trails have gone, the contrail thingies. And that's, they've gone because we're no longer going fast enough to allow for that. So, in this aircraft, we got checked. We've got a minute and a bit of fuel time left until we lose power. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to climb. Apply a bit of power. Reducing the RPM. Allow us to climb. See, that alarm thinks we should have the gear down because of our altitude and our speed, actually. So I'm going to increase the speed up. Apply loads of power. Climb up. Gain some altitude, so if we do lose engines we get a bit of gliding time. Right, reducing back off the power then. Back off the power. There we go. Right, we're back up. We're moving along. So we're looking for 060. That's just my oh yeah, so we're drifting too far. Always seem to be too far left of our heading. Which is alright. We'll just bring it back across there. Okay, our compass must not be quite accurate enough for exactly where we want to go. Maybe I didn't factor in the winds properly. I'll have a look when we're on the ground, but for now, it looks like we're about to run out of fuel. It reckons we have 0. Yep, there they go. There they go. There go, the engine's feathering. Feathered the props. We're going down in the jungle. Right, I've got to have a look at the chat. I haven't had a look in a while. I'm guessing you're all making fun of the fact that I've just run out of fuel because I didn't quite get to our right location. This is not ideal. I'm not gonna lie. She's flying fast. Yeah. You said cheese, Rex. Well, hello. Nice to see you in the chat. This is not good. Moving map-wise, where are we? Yeah. No way to go. We're going a bit faster than I think we thought we were. Ah, it's a shame. Right, what I'm going to do, add a bit of fuel. This is cheating, and this is... No, I wanted the first leg to go, but I don't really want to... I only had a bit of fuel, but I don't really want to... I don't want to run out of fuel. This is, it's not the point of this to crash. This is not the... You'll make fun of me in the chat, but we don't want to crash. We want to enjoy flying the bird and make these crazy landings. When you see what we're about to land at, you'll understand why I didn't want to crash. I wanted to actually land here because it's a serious challenge. Hope you have a parachute you can jump out like that guy. Yeah. I know it's not. Yeah. So we'll go there. Right. Okay. So it's roughly this heading. We can now go back to our maps and stuff and hopefully get the right direction. I didn't want to use that map. I'm sorry, people. I had to have a quick peek. I just don't know where we're going. Rex, you're a VFR kind of guy. Would you like to come join us flying in and out? I know you've got that very good VFR plane. Would you like to come join us flying the sort of cargo runs? Okay. Right. We can start to have a look for the airport now. It should be around here somewhere. See on our navigation desk, if we have a look down here, we can see there's the airport located in that yellow square. That's what it looks like. So that's what we're looking out for, people, so keep an eye out, keep looking for it. I believe it's just over this edge of this hill that we're about to approach. So I'll remember for next time to pile in way more fuel than we thought we needed, because you'll always need it. So I'll remember that. I'm feathering the props slightly here so we don't burn too much fuel. Maybe you've got a good look at that navigation table. We'll turn that away so we can actually navigate. Right, it's around here somewhere. Pitch up slightly. Trimming it left, so you see we're rolling left slightly. It's all about trimming this plane. Trimming the aircraft out. I think, is that it there? I think that's our airport. I think we've spotted her. I'll take her in low for a low. We'll go in for a low pass then. I'll set it up on the left window actually, so we can have a look at the left. Because that's where we're going into a cloud bank there. As we descend, right, I'll level the wings here. Back off the power. Backing off the power. Letting the speed drop a bit. Keep the nose pushing down so we descend out the cloud. Not too steep. Not too steep. I'm going to come out the cloud, we're going to be pointing straight at the ground. Uh-oh. Right. Oh, there we go, we're out the cloud. That, to me, looks like an airport. What is our heading currently? East, directly east. Perfect. Well, this is what we were hoping for. As you can see, very steep cloud this way. It's downhill landing this way. What do we fancy, people? Going in from this direction over the big gap of clouds? Or spin it around, go over the steep clouds? I think we'll go over the steep... Sorry, I say clouds, I meant trees. I think we'll go over the steep trees. Doesn't look too bad. Okay. Right, there we go. What I've just done is I've I put the props into full volume, so we're now getting, I don't know what you call it. What's the opposite of feather? Like increase? I don't know. Yeah, we're no longer in feathered mode like we were. We're no longer in a bit of feather. We've now got loads, stacks of power available to us, which we are going to use. So, well, doing it downwind. So I'll call that on. That's in. Oscar Hotel Echo November on our downwind for runway 09er at Sierra Juliet Yankee Juliet. Okay, back off the throttle. Allowing the speed to drop then. We'll drop out some flaps and begin our approach. And Oscar Hotel Echo November turning for finals. Cool and on the ground. Okay, backing off power. Flap 1. There goes flap 1. That's the gear warning. We'll drop the gear. You gotta know in this plane you have to hold altitude, because otherwise, look, you lose visual of the airport like I've just done there. So apply a bit more power. I'll drop a stage of flap, and I'm going to climb slightly. So there should be. There it is. There it is. Ugh. Difficult to see in all these trees. Right. Flap 3 and flap full. There's the runway. Trimming it down. Here we go. We're going to steep approach right over the trees here. Here's our airport. Loads of bags are trimmed down. Looking in. Slowing it down. Very steep actually. I made this a little bit steep. Probably steeper than it needs to be. Alright, it stops like a sixpence though. This is fine. Whoa. Oh, that's steep over the trees there. Pitching up. Reverse pitch. Whoa, I might have slammed that one down. It says we wasted the landing. 900 feet per minute. That's fine. That's a good landing. That'll do. In these bush places, you just got to accept these tough, brutal landings. Right, we're in that parking spot I was talking about, so I'm going to apply lots of power. I'll spin us around. So I apologise there for that leg. Then we made a couple of errors and ran out of fuel. So that's unfortunate to say the least. Right, idle power. We're going to shut down engines 1 and 2. So basically, I turn off the ignitions. There they are. Oh, grab them, turn them off, and pretty much then they just cut. Cool. Oh, I forgot to raise flaps. I'll put them up now. I've got a bit of hydraulic power probably left. There go the flaps, and we'll open up the big cargo door behind us. There it goes. Cargo door down, and open up the left and right door, and open up the engine cowl to give them a bit of air. Any landing is good in that jungle. Yeah, as a steep approach. So we want to have a look at the landing. It'll have the doors and things open, of course, because that's just what it does. Hasn't got the replay functionally programmed in, so we'll just sort of be able to watch like what it looked like roughly. She was a steep landing. Look, oh, that was very steep. That's a lot steeper than it looked like from the pilot's perspective. Bloomin' hell, that is steep. Oh, that's a sickly experience. I think I'll try and reduce the descent rate a bit less time. Oh, that was a slammer. We won't be watching that one again. We'll ignore that. Right, our next leg then. So now we've just got to do the same calculations we did again, but for this landing. So pause view. Let's head over to our navigation display, and this time I'm doing the next set of calculations. So let's hope we get this one right. So down at the navigation display, let me turn on it for you. So, buongiorno. Right. Get away this reference point. We're happy with that now. So, we are at SJYJ, which is down in this corner here, bottom left of our screen where the plane image is. That's here. So we've got to make our new sets of calculations. So, firstly, we know that it's 11.7 centimeters leg. I measured it already to make sure I didn't make any errors. So 11.7, I'm going to times that by 3.63. 42 miles. That's 42.471 nautical miles. Fantastic. So, now I've got that, we want to work out how long it's going to take us to do that. So to do that, we do distance over speed. We've got a 3-knot wind from 090, which of course at this point might well drift us left a little bit. It's not going to affect our speed too much. We won't worry about that, especially at the speed we were going. Shouldn't really affect it too much. So I'm going to slow us down a bit for this flight. I think 150 is a little bit better than 160. I think we were pushing everything we could from the plane, which we don't really want to do. So 42.471 in there. I'm going to divide that by our speed, which for today will be 150. I'm going to times that by 60. And we get 16.9 minutes. That's how long we'll be in the air for. Now we have to look at our actual heading that we'll be flying on. And the heading for today will be, just checking you can still see it. The heading for today, so then we're just going to properly measure that. So we're saying that's roughly 90 degrees, right on the nose of the plane. There, yeah, let me have a zoom in on that. Let's have a look. Looks to me to be about 57 degrees. Yeah, 57 degrees. Let me know if you can see the navigator's table or not. You can. Cool. I got Big Mungus says hey, nice to see you. Hello. Cool. Right. So there we go. We got the heading now, 57 degrees north. That looks a little bit more than 57, I'd say. But no, we measured it, so that's 57. That's going to take us 16.9 minutes. Right now, the slight problem we've got: 3 knots of wind. So we've got to measure this. So we're going to draw it to scale in terms of speed. So it's going to take us. So if we're doing 150 knots, we want to make it say, and we're going to draw it at the heading as well. That just makes things a little bit easier. Where did I drop that protractor in? There it is. So to make it easier for ourselves, we're going to draw it at 57 degrees. So put our protractor down. We'll draw a line through 57 degrees there. Drawing. Oh, I didn't draw a dot on the dot. That's a bit stupid. Okay, hold on. Draw a dot. Put the middle of your protractor on it. Lining it all up with 90s. 57 degrees equates to about there. Can see the table, no problem. Brilliant. Cool. And we're just going to draw a line that's 15 centimeters. Sorry. 15 centimeters because we're doing 150 knots. Like so. There we go, we've got our line. So that's 15 centimeters long, which represents 150 kilometers. So we have a wind from this direction of 3 knots. So that's going to mean we're going to have to do, it's going to push us across this way. So we want to aim right. So what we've got to do is draw a 3 centimeter line this side of the dot, because imagine the wind's blowing from this direction. So it's gonna, if we head on this direction, the plane will drift right over time. So we want to aim more right, so then we go roughly on the right course. We're going to draw a 3 centimeter line from this dot here. And that is going to be at 90 degrees, which it roughly is. That's good. Now we want to connect up the dots. I've just realised my ruler isn't long enough, so I'm actually going to use my keyboard, because that's a straight line. It just needs to be a straight line, basically. There is the dot there. Put my pen on the dot. There's that one. Straight down to it. That's roughly straight. That's a little bit less straight than I was hoping it to be. That's not bad. And then we line up our compass with 90 degrees. So what was originally 57, which was about there. That was about 57 there. Is now going to be 64 degrees. That's because of that 3 knot crosswind. So 64 degrees we're going to be flying for. So 64 degrees for 16.9 minutes. We're happy with that? Let me know you're happy in the chat. Cool. I think we're all good. We'll put the map back in the way. I'll take this little notepad out of the way. Whilst we're at the stop again, I remind you to once again purchase your Pillar Pilot merchandise. I've got this lovely mug here. Really good quality. Really think it's worth it. It's how I drink all my teas on stream now. It's yeah. And then of course Pillar Pilot mask, quite essential at the moment. Very nice cloth mask. You can check them all out through the links in the description or the links through the channel. Fantastic. Let's hop back into the flight deck and continue our journey. And drag the microphone back across, and we're good. So, our next leg of the journey. Right. Actually, I'm going to leave the navigator tab up because our next leg takes us across to, I believe it was SWAE. Let's have a look, see. Yeah, SWAE, which we have a sort of an awareness sheet for. And I made these awareness sheets so that we can spot the airport. And actually, it should make it a little bit easier for our next journey. So here's SWAE. There it is on the awareness sheet. So, we can see looking at the airport then, we've got, if we're coming in from the from the east, we're going to sort of fly up, and it's by the rivers. So this one is a bit easier to recognise. Lots of rivers around the airport, sort of curls around the bottom of the airport actually. You see there's a river going around there, the airport, and there's the airport there itself. So, lots to see. So we're looking out for lots of rivers and a nice clear patch of runway. Fantastic. So, we are VATSIM if any of you would like to join us, so please do come say you just finished doing VFR nav in ground school. Oh, fantastic. Well, you should know all about this then. Get my ruler keyboard back. Right, so we've got the ground awareness set. What I'm actually going to do is just make sure I got the right weather set up. So if you just bear with me 1 second, I'll make sure I got the right weather up. Oh, sorry. I've lost that there. Right, let me just make sure the weather's all good. Ta-da. Sorry, the weather's playing up for me here. I'm trying to use this thing to make sure that the weather is as accurate as possible. And it sometimes goes a bit buggy. Right, there we go. And let me get the game patch back on. There we go, sorry. Okay, we're back on. So, we got the navigation desk. I hope you then, if you're doing ground school, we're happy with the way we did that navigation. We're going to refuel the fuel up again. Now, we think this flight is going to take 17 minutes. Well, after what happened last time, I'm going to refuel a lot more than that. So we have about 40 minutes of flight time, just in case. Payload-wise, roughly the same payload, will increase a little bit more. So, of course, then we'll increase a little bit more fuel to make sure we don't burn through it all. So there we go. Fuel's all been set up. I set a heading bug. So a heading of 064 degrees. Spin it back around. 06. There it is. So that is 070, 080, 090. So 060, 061, 062, 063, 064. There's 064 there. We'll turn on our nav. Standby. So that's true. Sorry, nav and beacon lights on. The fuel pumps are all on. The fuel is on. We're going to turn on the ignitions to both. Ignition is to the both. We've got the prop set to the full forward position, so that means when we look at them, we've got full air. We're going to close the cowlings on the engines. We'll close up the doors of the aircraft. You see the engines return to normal position. I'm going to hold down the left starter, so here we go. Let's watch it start. Spinning around, make sure I've done everything right. We'll know if it starts or not. Faster. Oh, it's not happy. Oh, it's not happy. Did I click? Did I make sorry? Did I just want to do? Maybe I'm supposed to flick that down, am I? Because then we're getting the warnings. Oh no, fuel selector is off. It should be in both. That's why. Right, close them. There's nothing to do with that, I don't think. I think it was that. Let's try this. Make sure it's in the both position. Might go throttle forward a bit. Sometimes it's a bit of a pain to start this. I can never quite work out which switch should be where. No, don't want to start. Right, let's try something else. Flick this into the down position. Down, so they should both be down then, so both down, down, and then both, and then try that. Well, I really don't want to start there. Right, so primers 1 and 2 then should go on. Try that instead. Let's try that out. Let me try and track out, that makes it much easier for looking around. Right, there we go. Right, let's try this one. Nope, they don't want to move. Right. Aye. Maybe they're supposed to be in the fuel position. What I do know is it's not happy with something I've done, so both boost pumps 1 and 2 on. The primers for 1 and 2 are on. Generators need to be off. That might be a problem. Might be one problem. Generators 1 and 2 go. They're in the off position already. Okay. It seems to sort of switches automatically in this plane. That's what I've seemed to be like finding, because it seems to just switch that on. Right, why won't it start? I don't know. Aye. Primer 1 and 2 off, maybe? No, don't want to turn. Something to do with all this. This is often the problems I have. Right, we've got the fuel on. These are the fuel and oil shut off. Only problem is it doesn't tell me which position is shut off. Whatever I'm doing now, it really does not want to start. I can hear them not wanting to start. So ignition goes to both. Ignition both will leave the primers off. I didn't touch them last time for the start. I had selected the both. The fuel pumps are on. The crossfeeds don't need to be on. We'll just hit the starters. All I'm getting is a sort of whir of the engines. Okay. This should be working. Refuel. I'm going to make sure I refueled okay. We've got fuel on board. Right, yeah. This is literally what I have my problems with. They don't want to start now, do they? Right, fuel pressure's in the green. I think maybe I need to reset all failures, something like that. Edit failures. It's gone wrong. Fix all systems. Done. Let's try this. Alright. No. So I basically just clicked Control E to see if what would happen. It's not happy. I'll put the mixture into the auto rich position. Maybe that'll help. There we go. Spinning. Come on. Come on. There we go, we're alive. No. Oh, it's died. Come on, we were very nearly there then. Left oil pressure's into the, no longer in the red. There we go, we're alive. We're alive. We'll get the number right engine going. The right oil pressure is not as high as the left. Yeah, it's not running. I didn't think it was. Right. Try this. VFR nav in ground school. That sounds mega. Did you prime them? I hadn't actually. But now they're alive. Do I need to prime them next time? Is that what I need to do? Right. Set the number 3. Auto. No, don't cut off. Okay. Engines are alive, that's all that matters now. The lights are all on. Fuel valves are all set. We've got our heading bugs selected after departure. We'll turn on the generators. Then the on position. Good. I forgot to turn them off after the last shutdown. Okay. Cool. So, we'll get track IR on. And the track IR is on. We're ready to start. Parking brake is released. Lots of power, spin her around and take off. Let's get going. It's been an hour and 10 minutes and we've only made one leg. But we'll get faster and faster on these next legs. Now this is a very steep takeoff. This is This is personally my most feared takeoff. I don't like this one at all. Very scary. Okay. Often don't make it as well. So there is a point down the runway where I will think, you know, not looking good. So I've got the brakes on at full. I'm going full power. And we'll release the brakes. Let's go, 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 go. Sometimes you have to stall it over the edge of the trees in this place. Oh. Oh. We're airborne. We're climbing. Go on outside V just to prove we do make it over the trees. We're up. We're airborne. She's alive. Well, not really. Oh, I'm holding it off from the stall here. A lot of pitch, a lot of pitch. A lot of pitch, here we go. Holding it. Oh. And we're in not quite safe flight. I would not say safe flight until about 100 knots. We're holding off stall. Oil temperatures are a little bit high. We've got the warning lights on. Right. We're going to roll around to our correct heading and I'm going to start timer. Is it turning the engines over? Yes, thank you, sorry. That engine problem, I'll make sure that doesn't happen next time. I think what had happened was, what had I not done? I've forgotten what I hadn't done now. Something I will have a look when we get back. Sometimes if you leave the engines rich from your last flight, it might keep the spark from igniting. Obviously, yeah, priming's a big thing. I think it's something to do with the auto mixture. Yeah, we'll have a look during flight. Right, let's get onto this heading. So there's the heading. So now I've got to open up the clock and do a new stopwatch. So get onto our heading. Reset the timer. Get onto that heading. Make sure we're nicely on the heading. I've still got the gear down actually. We're going to raise the gear. You'll hear that annoying beeping for a second because what that is, that's a gear warning. And we'll go on the timer. There goes the timer. I actually have to keep climbing until that beeping will go. So there we go. It's actually gone now. I'm getting onto the heading. Slower movements. There we go. That's better. Okay, there we go. So, turn off track IR and we'll get the autopilot on. So, we want to go to about 4,000. That'll do. So, get rid of stick, heading, autopilot, vertical speed. I'll boost up the vertical speed a little bit. About 1,000 feet per minute, there we go. And what we're going to do is going to raise that final flap. And straight flaps up. So the speed builds. The nose will pitch up a bit. You see we're getting lots of water vapour and stuff. That's because we're just off the edge of stalling. We turn off our landing and taxi lights. And there we go. We're in pretty much safe flight. We're going to back off the throttle a little bit, and I'm going to start to fine-tune the props up to the nice position that we want them. I think it could have been the auto mixture. Flaps up. Yep, the flaps now up. There's 140 knots, and we're coming up to 150, so we'll set the pitch, set the RPM, sorry. We want it at just under 2,000 RPM in this aircraft. We'll back off the throttle, because we're already through should be, I think the cloud base, I'm not quite sure what the cloud base is, I think it's about 5,000 feet, so I'm going to climb a little bit because this does feel a bit low. I'll shove 5,000 in, and if it feels like we're sort of, I'll make it in sort of a cruise climb. When we start to hit that cloud, we'll back off. So we need a bit more power than that. We're dropping back from 150. I'm just going to apply a bit more power, hold around 150. Right, bear with me then. I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to keep an eye on the speed as I disappear here. But I just got to sort out to my computer. Cool, sorry, I'm back. Right. So, I noticed we built up a little bit of speed there. I let us drift too fast. We're doing 170 or so. We are quite quick suddenly. So back off. What I'm going to do is quickly set up a smooth transition, because see how it suddenly flicks between views? That's just because I didn't set up the smooth transition. So what I've got to do is just go between view and enable.
Unable to find view ID 6.
Oh, I'll go back to that one. You see a nice wing view there.
Unable to find view ID 8.
There you go. That's all good. This is X camera, by the way. Say hello,
Camera is saved.
This allows me to control the views and everything. You see we can move around inside the cargo. So that's actually looking through the cargo now. You can see we've got some good big aid and stuff available on our flight today. Cargo goods. Which really help everyone that we're delivering to. So that's cool. Here's the man, the one and only load master. Looking very happy with himself. Time-wise, it's been 4 minutes 42 seconds. This flight was due to be about 16 and a half minutes. So that's good. What are these things? Are these fasten seatbelt and no smoking signs? I think I can turn them off if I want to. Should we open up the back? Can we do it from here? Do I have to go? Okay, hold on. Go back here. Cargo ramp.
Unable to find view ID 6.
Or that one. There we go, and the cargo ramp's open. We're hanging out the back. I was speaking to someone who used to be in the RAF, and he was saying that when they went up for test flights with the Hercules pilots, they would, when they tied on their harnesses, they, as they tied them on, they'd be stepping on a bit of the cord, so that it felt like it was shorter than it actually was, and they'd get you to lean, literally like right out here. They'd get you to lean so that you could almost looking around the corner around here. And as you did so, they then let go of it, and you suddenly go flying, almost falling out the plane. Which is, I thought it was quite funny. We're not that mean, so we won't be doing that to our load master people. We'll close the ramp up. Send it back to a nice closed position. We've got the fuel warning lights on, but we've got plenty more fuel than we did have last time, so that's fine. I'm not too worried about that. Right, I better get back on the speed. We're a bit slow now. Bit slow indeed, actually. I'm blasted up a bit. This is why we aren't quite as accurate as we should be, because of course, you know, our navigation is dead reckoning, so it's pretty accurate. Not as accurate as you can get, because of course, if we don't hold the exact speed, what happens is the slower you go, you're more susceptible to the wind. So probably get more course deviation than we did if we were actually holding for 150 knots. So then of course it throws you off your course, so then you've got to adjust again. You would adjust again depending on your speed that you've lost and everything. So there's a lot you would actually have to adjust and everything, which we're not quite adjusting, because it's you know, on the small 15-minute hops like this, not too much of a difference. Long half-an-hour hops makes loads of difference. So we should familiarise ourselves with the airport we're going to, SWAE. The airport we're landing at today on this next leg is a little bit different to the one we have been landing at. SWAE, if I can find it. Well, let me find it. As I said just before I took off, it's a nice field-looking aircraft. So it's a field-looking airport. So it's just the same. It's near a river. So there's a couple more huts. It's on fairly high ground. There's quite a steep bank down to the river from the sides of the airport. So we do not want to be getting too close to the edge of the airport at all, so we really need to watch out for that. I don't want to be getting too close and end up falling off. So, especially with a 3-knot crosswind, it's not much at all, but in a small, slow, 100, so we're doing like 70 knots on touchdown, really can affect us quite dramatically. So we're going to make very much sure that when we're coming in approach, we're happy with the way the plane looks. I'm going to take, we really threw it down on the last landing. I'll take a bit more care on this landing. Because going into this river airport, there's a lot more that can go wrong. So yeah, so we're going to be approaching it from the east. So we're going to cross one river. We're then looking for a large gap. So if I turn the navigation tab, you can see we're going to, in the bottom right window, coming in from bottom left, we're going to cross one river. Then we're going to be in a gap where we should then be able to see a sort of intersecting runway with us ourselves, and then we should be able to see our airport actually. So a fairly good approach into this airport. There's quite a lot of signs we can be looking for, lots of features and things that we should be aware of, which is very nice as it makes it a lot better for our approach and landing and everything, so we can be much more accurate. Cool. Right, I'll pull out the navigation desk. Yeah, we're going to get out of the way. There you go. So I'm just balancing that throttle to hold 150 knots. So looking down here, we can see we've got some rivers. I think we might be where we thought we were. So, if you have any questions, just let me know in the chat, guys. If you have any questions about how we're doing this and all, please do ask. Of course, the stream will stay up after we finish the stream, so you can watch it back again and again if you have any questions. But if you have any questions you want to ask live, ask them. If you're watching this back, then put them in the comments. Please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps me along. So thank you very much. Right, bit more throttle. We're going a little bit slow, but to be honest, this airport compared to the last airport, rather than just being in the middle of the jungle, there's some rivers and stuff around that we can then look for. And as I can see rivers in the distance, I hope you can see them. As I can actually see these rivers up here, I'm confident that no matter what, really, I think I know where that intersection is. I'm pretty sure I know that one. I think it's the cross, which I show in the navigation desk. I think it's north of the airport. It's that sort of cross north of the airport. So I'm pretty sure no matter what, we're going to be able to see. We're going to be able to see this airport. So I'll track IR. Yeah, hopefully then this should be a fairly nice one. Fuel quantity wise, quite a lot. We're not doing too badly. We're not going to run out of fuel anytime soon, so that's good. Looking out to our right, then we've got a big cliff sort of down here. We're over like a plateau at the moment, aren't we? We're over a big plateau of hill. So it's all very interesting, this flying stuff, but you got to remember this is like, looks fairly dense in Xplane. It's not bad. I've turned up the graphics qualities and everything, but it's a proper course in real life, properly dense jungle. Apologies, I sneezed there. I don't know if you could tell. Geo Go To Fly, thank you very much for the subscribe. I'm glad the notification worked, but thank you. Welcome to the Pillar Pilot community. Feel free to join the Discord through the links in the descriptions, and come say hi. Come say hi. Nice. Thank you very much for the sub. Right, I hope we're going the right heading. There's a bit of runway down there. Fly next time if you want on VATSIM. Oh yeah, certainly. I'm on VATSIM currently. We're Oscar Hotel Echo November. I haven't made a call in a while just because there's almost no one around. I think we're heading slightly north of where we should be. How long's the time we've been going? But I'd love to fly with you. That'd be good fun. Right, 12 minutes. So we said it'd be 16 minutes. So yeah, start having a look for the airport because we are going. We always seem to run away with ourselves. Like we're going a bit faster than I was expecting. But hopefully we're in the right area. I think I can see where we're coming off, I'm just not quite sure. There's a lot of rivers now I look at it. I was so confident a bit ago, now I'm like, I don't know. Right, let's have a look-see in big map that is zooming out. Right, so there's like an intersection here. Of course, where we're coming across. Continuing on our present heading, we should sort of end up across this river, which of course is then where we thought we would be. So, and then there's like an intersection up there. I guess that is the intersection. I think that intersection we're about to cross is this one, which is very, very top left. Because then, I can't quite pick out the land features of what I thought we were looking at compared to what we're looking at. from looking at the map, that's why we're looking right. I think we're in the right place. Our course correction might have been a bit greater than it needed to be. It's tempting to look at the moving map, but I'm going to try and refrain from it, because it'd be nice not to. But it's very tempting to just have a quick peep, isn't it, and have a look at actually where we are. So I'll have to have a proper look. But I think for now we'll continue with our dead reckoning until we pass our 16-minute time. But we're looking for the airport now. So if I pull up what the airport looks like from our charts, you can see there I made a little slideshow thingy of what it looks like. So at 14 minutes 17 seconds, we're looking for 16.9 minutes before we're due to arrive. Oh, there's a cross section over there. That looks very much like the islands. Ah, yeah, there you go. I picked it out. So on the map down here in the bottom left, if I point to it with my pen, let me show you what we're looking at. So what I'm going to do is turn off track R so I can show you guys. I think I found it. So see this? See this little island thingy there? Can you see that? See that little island I'm looking at here? I believe that is this. See that there's a little island thingy there. So we just are a little bit left of the heading we should have been. So our course currently will take us slightly off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drift us right using the heading. I'm going to turn us right. Obviously just a little bit left of where we thought we were supposed to be going, because that is definitely, I can see that now. That must be that. Yeah, look, it splits perfectly and everything. So if that is that, we need to turn even further right then, because the airport is about off to our right down here somewhere. If we go right around, just almost looking at it. There's that intersection-y thing. So it's sort of over there slightly, so a bit further right. And I think I'll take manual control in a second and begin our descent. Right, sorry, let me get rid of the navigation. I forgot that was in the way. Right. The airport should be directly ahead of us. There it should be, I think. I think it's there. I've highlighted it. This is on this side of the bank. This side of the river. I think it's this here. Well, there's not much there, is there? It's on this side of the bank. It should be along here anyway. Any moment along here, really. So, it's definitely on this split. Because that split goes across there. One of the tents. Yeah, just definitely around here. Just a question of exactly where. So what I'm going to do, take manual control, turn on the track IR, so I can look around. Right, it's been 16 minutes 36 seconds, so we're coming up to our exact time. So what I'm going to do is actually disable the autopilot. Get an annoying beep. I really don't like that beep. I'm going to dip the nose and begin looking for our airport. So, it takes us down fairly low, and I'm back off the throttle again. The RPM's below 2,000, so throttle-wise we can sort of do what we want. We just got to remember we won't have as much throttle, so that when we get low, basically during the descent, I'm slowly increasing the pitch of the propellers so that we have more and more throttle, so that the lower we are, in case we have to, apply power, we have all available power that we need. I think it's below us. I think it's down here. It's this stuff down here, I think. Thought I've marked it out as being on the map. Just a question of exactly where. I think I see it there. I'm going to drift right and we head across this little island here. So I head across here. I'm back off the throttle as well. I'm quite high. I'm quite high. I'd like to join your server, but the invitation is invalid. Okay, no worries. Let me get a new invite in as soon as we land, my friend. Thank you very much. I'll get an invite in. Apologies for that. Sorry if that was out of date. Shadow Xplane Gin D. Oh, that was a bit sudden pitch nose down there. Wasn't quite looking at that. Hello, nice to see you. Welcome. There she be. I think that's it below us. Yep. Is that what I'm looking at? Big square thing. Let's roll it left. I hope that's it. It looks very similar. Yep, it certainly is. Right, so what we'll do... we'll go straight ahead. We'll come back right and we'll follow the river sort of along and into the airport. And then as soon as we land, I'll get an invitation in for you. But Shadowplane Xplane GT, welcome. Nice to see you. Hello. Right, so what I'm going to do is pitch the blades back up. So we're now getting lots of throttle, and I'm going to slowly just be adding flap here. So we'll go flap 1, It's going to be quite a tight turn in a minute, back around. That warning is for the gear to go down, so I'm going to drop the gear. And I've suddenly got to apply loads of power to get lots of drag. And going into a turn in this, you want to have lots of power. Cool, here we go. Rolling it right. Add flap 2. And flap 3. There goes flap 3. Flap full. Lots of power on, then you can really hear the noise probably. There's a lot of power on the aircraft now. Right. Airport. Lost visual amongst all the trees. Lost visual. That's not a problem. Follow the river. So we know it's on this left bank of the river because we crossed the river. So we know it's on the left bank. Ah, there he is. I've got visual. Just across the tip of the nose. Can you see it there? That's it there. Tiny little clearing. That's where it should be. So lots of power on. We're doing 80 knots. It's a little bit slow because, of course, when I go to flare, I suddenly lose that speed. When I start dropping the nose, we don't have anywhere near as steep a descent that we did the first time. I was still homing my skills at that point. So back off the power. Drop the nose. Here we go. Dropping the nose. Oh, suddenly this is turning into a steep descent. Didn't mean it to be this steep. Always ends up being steep really when you're going into the jungle. Right, lots of power then. Because even when it looks like you're sort of slowing down because you're going steep, you're actually only doing just 90 knots. It's an odd plane the way it behaves because you can search up Caribou doing the wheelbarrow. It does some odd stuff, this plane. So yeah, that's why it's always quite difficult to land. There's a bit of a ridge across the runway here, so I'll just try and miss that. Right, there we go. Idle power. Not bad. That's acceptable. Reverse thrust. It stops almost immediately. Before the reverse thrusters can even get starting to reverse, it's pretty much at a stop, especially on these mud runways. Right, apply a bit of power. We'll taxi up to our holding point, so flaps up. Put the flaps up. I remember to cut the fuel this time. I think that's what I didn't do. Oh, going a bit quick, bit quick, bit quick. Back off the throttle. There we go, right. Now make a right turn and spin it around. So we're ready to go for our next one. There we go, and back off the throttle. I'll spin the rest around myself. So parking brake on. Looking over to the head. Idle mixture cut off. We'll drag them back to, I think I should just jet. Oh, there we go. There we go. They then go. That is about it, I think. Do the primers need to be? They're off. We'll turn off our fuel pumps. Very good landing, thank you very much. Not too bad, I did my best. Right, the gens should have recharged the battery, so we're okay to sit for a minute. So what we're going to do now, we'll open up the cargo ramp and cargo doors. Superb, there they go. Cool. Right, you wanted an invite to the Discord. Apologies, I'll get that in the chat now then for you. Let me open it up in the bottom left. Opening up Discord then. And then we'll start to prepare for our next leg. We're now at the furthest away point. SWAE, I think. Let me have a look. Oh no. We're halfway through our journey then. Halfway through. This is the... So we've gone from SJMH, SJYJ, SWAE. We're then going to get to SWAQ and back to our starting point. If you're enjoying the stream, be sure to like and subscribe. And then, of course, tomorrow, if you're free, at 10 o'clock, I am flying the BAE 146 from London City to Edinburgh and back into London City to make the infamous approach. But I also wanted to do the departure because it's quite good fun, actually, flying out of London City. So, that should be good fun. So please do, if you can, join us for that tomorrow. That will be a lot of fun. Right, let me drop that message in the chat, the invite to the Discord. I'm glad you want to join. Actually, it's only a small Discord, but the people in there, if you say hello and stuff, they'll often say hello back. They're nice. So lots of aviation enthusiasts and stuff in there. So it's worth going and checking out the Discord if you can. The link's just been dropped in there. So if you'd like to, go say hello. Please do. Right, so we'll get on with preparing for our next arrival then, next flight then. So, next flight. This is a little bit more difficult than the last one, this next leg. We've got a slightly more challenging way to go. We will be a bit affected by the wind a bit more. So, we'll take a little bit more of our time planning the flight. So, let me switch over there then. Moving across. Here is the planning desk. So, hopefully you can see it all right. Hello, this is me. Right. Get all my pens together. Okay, our next leg. This one is a bit more fun. So, we're here at SWAE going to SWAQ. So, it's a 12.6 centimetres on the map, which translates, to work out the mileage, all we do is take 12.6 and we times it by 3.63. Xplane didn't make it very easy, so it's 45.7. So I get my notepad, make a new recording of it, so we underline that. So it is 45.738 nm, nautical miles. And to work out how long that's going to take us, we do it distance over time. Remembering we've got that 3 knots here, so this is acting as, this heading we're taking today, it's going to act as almost a full headwind on our... Oh, I knocked the camera off there. Sorry about that. Eesh, I've got to balance it up again. Hold on. Yep. Balancing these cameras, I'm not going to lie, it's not the easiest thing in the world. Right, how's that look? There you go, you can still see. That's, I hope you can still see, right? Cool, you can. Okay, so, 45 nautical miles, we're now going to do it. So we're going to do it in this equation, so we put distance over speed. Now, our speed, put the calculator in the middle here so you can see, our speed is going to be 150, but we've got a minus 3 knots, because of course, our wind is going to actually reduce our speed. Our airspeed won't change, but our ground speed will be slower. So we're going to do it over 147. This is our percentage of an hour, so it should take half an hour, it normally says in this, but then if we times it by 60, we get minutes. It tends to drop by quite a lot. I'm not quite sure why. I'm not going to lie, but that's 18.3 minutes. So this is our longest leg. No, not quite the longest leg. I think we had a longer one at the start, didn't we? So 18.3 minutes, so a fairly long flight. So we'll just mark that as 18 mins. There. So wind deviation. We could do a wind deviation, but it will only be about a degree or so, because the wind's coming from here. So you could argue it'll blow us that way by a degree. So we might aim right by just a degree of what it would have been, just to account for the wind. And then we'll have a look at recognising this airport so that we know what we're looking for. So measuring it, lining it up with what I think to be just about 90. That seems about straight with the paper. Just over. .82 degrees, and then from north, of course, that is 82 degrees. So we can set 82 degrees, and I'll mark that on my notepad, so I have it here. 82 degrees, and then we're going to add 1, of course, just in case that wind factor, make it 83 degrees. Fantastic, so there we go, we've got 83 degrees, and it's going to take us 18.5 minutes. So let's look at recognising this airport. So this one is Sierra Whiskey Alpha Quebec. Here it is. Lucky enough, we've got some more rivers, so recognising it should be easy as well. We're coming in from the west, so we're coming in this direction across here again. So Arriving into this airport, we're going to come over some mountain ranges here. So we're looking at these mountains around here, looking out for them. We're then going. We only got one river this time, so what we've got to do is see the river. So I keep bouncing into the camera here. See the river, and here's the river, and then the airport is literally the other side of it. The runways are sort of northish and southish, so looking out for that. Good buildings either end. This, I actually made a mistake here. I got my airports confused. This one is on a very high plateau. This is the one where we got a high drop here and a high drop here. So we really need to watch out for these drops because of the nature of the airport. So really going to keep an eye out for that one. But yeah, this should be an interesting arrival. So let's head back into the flight deck and sort out the aircraft for this flight. Cool, I did mess up that camera slightly, didn't I? So let's just sort it out and back to how it should look roughly. Should be about there, shouldn't it? There we go. That looks better. Right, sort out my camera positioning and the microphone. Right, there we go. So we can get rid of the navigation desk and we'll go back to our plane. So, first thing first, how much fuel did we burn? I think we fueled up for about 43 minutes. So it's 20 minutes of fuel on a 16-minute journey. So that's quite a lot. So this one's going to be 18 minutes. So I want to double it really. So we'll just go, 48 minutes of fuel, I think so. Payload weight, we're actually going to not carry so much for this leg. People don't really take ships so much out from this place to the next place. It's more, this is one of the most remote ones, literally being a village there, square. So this is one of the more remote ones, so they normally get supplies. Don't really ship much out, so we'll be fairly light. Right, so heading wise, we said we're going to be 083. So I'll wind that into our display. So there's 90, there's 80, so 81, 82, 83. There's the heading of 083. Takeoff will turn straight left to that heading. We turn off our strobe lights, forgot about them. Make sure it's on Unicom, we'll do our Unicom call. So Oscar Hotel Echo November, currently on the ground at Sierra Whiskey Alpha Echo. Flying direct VFR, Sierra Whiskey Alpha Quebec, cruising 4,000. Flight time expected to be 18 minutes. Oscar Hotel Echo November. Cool. So the heading set up. 4,200 seemed like a good altitude because we were just under the clouds there, but above the land. Looking to over here, then we want to set our fuel into the auto rich, I believe. We put it in. Did we put it in auto rich? Yep. Auto rich, and we're going to turn on our primers according to Big Bungus. See you next time and have a nice flight. Thank you very much, GO2 Flight. I'll have a look at that screenshot you put in the Discord. I just saw it pop through on my messages. Thank you very much for the subscribe. Nice to meet you. Right. So. Okay. We're ready to go. 4,000. So, if I did this right, like I did, hopefully, I'll do it the same as I did last time. So we're just going to go fuel 1 and 2, set to the position of both. You see the fuel pressure gauges rise. Fuel pressures rise. Get the tracker on so we can have a look at where we are. Ooh. Looking left, we'll look at the engine as it starts. Hopefully it starts. Oh, yep. And we're up. We're alive. So it's just about making sure you turn it off then before, isn't it? We'll get the right engine going. We're looking at the dials then for this one. Watching that right RPM rise, just above 4,000. And we're alive. So they're moving together. Moving nice, so we'll get the generators on. Gens are 1 and 2 on. No crossfeed is required. We're happy. We're looking to the back here. We're going to close up our doors. We're going to close the cargo ramp on the left and right doors. Everyone's loaded. Seatbelt signs and no smoking lines go back on. Fantastic. So 150 knots cruise. I think we're about ready to go. It's going to be a left turn on departure. So parking brake released. Leaning, looking left. Apply the power. fairly long takeoff run, but there is steep trees at the end of this, so we need to watch out. We want to really make sure we lift the nose right up into the air to get over these trees at the end. Okay, it's a bumpy runway this one as well. Straighten us up in the centre of the runway, hold us on the brakes and get the speed alive before we begin throttle up. Here we go. Full power. 3, 2, 1. Nah, that's a bit like Concorde, that one. Right, the brakes are released. Oh, I didn't turn on the landing lights, or the strobe lights. Oops. Right, there we go. Oscar Hotel November rolling. Sierra Whiskey Alpha Echo. 60 knots, so 50 knots. 70. There's the trench. We want to probably get up before that. It's quite a big trench, that one, you'd be surprised. I bumped into it the first time I took off from this place. Not a good move. Gear up. Keep getting the trim pitching the nose up. And we want to roll left now. Rolling left. There you go, I've trimmed it out nicely there. Quite a high climb rate, but that's alright. We'll reduce our turn. You see we're turning quite steeply. It really handles very well, this plane. It really, you know, you put a little bit of movement in and it'll really fling itself around. So I have to often remind myself to not quite do so much input because it requires a lot less than an A320, for example. And levelling the wings. There. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Levelled wings. So we're now on our heading. We're climbing nice and gently. We're going to keep the amount of power we got until we get to 150 knots, which is roughly about now. So I'm going to reduce our RPM just a little bit, and I'm going to reduce our climb rate. I'll get the autopilot on because it does a better job. And more that I don't like flying with autopilot, but what it does do, it does a much better job at actually maintaining the heading than I do, and that is actually quite important. There's a big hill ahead of us, so hopefully we'll get over that. Turn off taxi lights and landing lights. We're balancing out the throttle there. The wing looks lovely. Looks very nice. Cool. Bring back the stick. Gently rising up, then I'm going to reduce the RPM. It needs to be below 2,000 is the official published for the aircraft as what you should have your RPM during cruise. So we'll reduce it below 2,000. It's not a pressurised aircraft, this. But often crews will be given oxygen and things, so they could fly higher than normally. Right, we're not high enough to get over this cliff. We could go around it, but that would mean we lose our heading and potentially the accuracy of our navigation by doing so. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to climb. So if I turn the tracker on just so I can have a look down here. Boost up our altitude. What we're going to do is climb right up to about 6,000 to make sure we get over the hill. And then once we have done so, I'll reduce our altitude back down again. All I've got to do is whilst we do the climb, I've just got to hold 150 knots. You know, we can climb around all over the place as long as we hold to 150. That's absolutely fine. Right, there's 150. Right, we're at the limit of throttle, so what I'm going to do is just allow the RPM to build by changing the pitch of the propellers. Here we go there. Requiring a lot of power then to keep it going. Our cylinder gasket head is a little bit hot. Oil pressure is just getting towards the top of the pressure gauge. I think we've got to reduce our power for sure, but I've got to make sure we get over this cliff because that's that's worse than having a high oil pressure. Oh, I didn't start the top watch. That's what I didn't do. Oops. Pause, reset, start. Oh, it's probably been like 2 minutes maybe. That's what I didn't do. Damn it, there's always something. So there's only be 16 minutes really. There you go. It's nice and it's suddenly brightened up a bit actually. The clouds overcast that we had earlier has gone a bit, which is that's nice. It was quite gloomy. Right, back off. We're going a bit quick. Back off the RPM. We're levelled off. I think we're going to make it over the cliff. Big jut of land. If GeoFly you're still watching, that's a lovely, lovely picture you took actually. Night shots off on Xplane. Very nice. I think you're in Xplane there. It might be NSFS actually. Never can quite tell. They look very similar now. yeah, Xplane with a lot of mods looks very similar to Microsoft Flight Sim now. People have really done good at making them look similar. So yeah. I think we're through. Yep, we're through the clouds and we're safe. Fantastic. We're good. We're good, people. We're alive. Just under 150. So I'm going to increase my throttle slightly. We're moving pretty quickly. I've probably set to max quality actually. The clouds are a little bit better there. It's a special FPS thing that just allows me to control it when we're streaming. Okay. Oscar Hotel Echo November. Halfway through route between Sierra Whiskey Alpha Echo Sierra Whiskey Alpha Quebec Oscar Hotel Echo November. Ohen is our official call sign. So just peaking above 150 knots, so I'll drop it down a little bit. Remember, looking for this when we come off the end of a mountain range. So basically we're flying over that mountain range now, which is that little sort of stuff in the top left, on the left side of the map, mountain range, and then we're looking to see a river. Across the river there's the airport. And the airport is just in the crux of a sort of joining between a tributary onto the main river. And it's just on the inside of a meander, so we're looking for that. That's our main features. You know, everything else we see is a bonus. Of course, we're flying on the heading, so we should get there exactly as we planned. If we zoom out, we might be able to see the river. It's not cheating, it's just foreshadowing our view. So we're heading this way, so the mountain range carries on for quite a while, and then it drops here, look. There's a river, that was a river, there's a river. There's the river, there it should be. We're on the perfect heading. Cool. I'll get back in. It's a little bit of cheating that, but it's if you watch the first leg, first time I've done it in a while, you understand why I'm making sure we're on the right heading. We've ran out of fuel. That's the dangers of bush flying, you know, you gotta make sure you get all your headings right, and obviously I didn't quite get the heading and stuff right, and so we went a little bit south of the airport, and I started looking for it later than I should have done, which meant by looking for it later than I should have done, I didn't pick up on where the airport was, and we just went right by it, and after about 15 minutes I thought, yes, this does not feel like the right place, so yeah, work out actually where we're going. But we seem to have nailed it now. With your help, we seem to be going in the right direction. If any of you are interested in flying Concorde, I've flown that on the channel. There's a couple of tutorials up there for the Collimata Concorde, so go check them out. And tomorrow, if you'd like to join me on VATSIM, I'm flying the BAE 146 from London City to Edinburgh and back. A nice flight. It doesn't, it's good fun going into London City, but it doesn't take as much preparation as this. This has taken a lot of preparation, so please give this one a like and subscribe. So oil pressures are back in the green. Our cylinder head pressure, gasket head pressure is back down into the green levels it was, into the red, and actually too low, much lower than it should have been. So it wasn't the blue, but it's down into the red now, which is nice. There is GPS in this, but we're not using it. Oh, I think it's like something like all aircraft have basic GPS. That isn't very good GPS though. I wouldn't really trust that. Right, we're a bit low here to go over this one, so I'm going to climb slightly. Not too high, just a little bit, so we do make it over this big ridge that's going right across our screen. We'll climb a bit so we make it over that. Cool. Fuel wise, we've got plenty of fuel left. Time wise, it has been 6 minutes. I started about 2 minutes late, so we're looking for another 10 minutes of flight. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to hop out the flight deck. I will be back in a minute, guys. Back in a moment. That's not 10 minutes. Let's change that. It's not 10 minutes. Not 10 minutes. But like 3, I guess, if we're being specific. Ah, what the hell, we'll just leave it up. Right, okay. See you in a minute then, everyone. Bye-bye. Hello, and we're back. And I just had a quick break then, and I went and got some food. What I have noticed is that we've gone a little bit quicker than expecting, but seeing as I forgot to start the timer, we're just making up for lost time, basically. But I can see a river down there, so what I'm going to do is actually drop down. I'll take us down to about 4,000, 3,900. Vertical speed mode, armed, and down we go. Cool, remember we're looking for this airport. Here's the one. We're looking for it, you can see that. We're coming over off the mountain range as we are now. And then we look for this small little bush strip, as it were. It's just on this river. How long have we been on the timer, just to make sure that this is where we're descending into? It's been 11 minutes actually. I don't think this is the place. No. Level off. Altitude. Hold altitude. I don't think this is the one. It's a river, that's for sure, but I don't think it is the place. It's only been 12 minutes, which on an 18-minute leg, it can't be the place. We'll have a zoom in as we go by, but I don't think it is. Right, I don't think it is a place, but we'll have a look out the window. We've got a fair bit of flight left. I just can't be sure. That could have been it, I don't know. Our compass is not unreliable. That's what I can be sure of. It's perfectly reliable. Because the GPS says we've got the same heading. I'm just looking down there as ours, so that's perfect. So it's actually 5 o'clock over in the country we're flying into. It might start to get dark, potentially. Just a little bit of sunset. So, going into our final airport, got to make sure we're aware of that. Right, at 14 minutes of flight time. This mountain range curls around a river. I know that ours is in a river. That's a river. It's a very basic explanation, but basically you can see where I'm going at. And that is that we've flown right by the airport. That's my guess at what we've just done. Because the question is there a connection at any point? If there's like a connection in it, then I know it is where we're supposed to be. I've just been a numpty. There's a join. Is that the right join? Yeah, it is. Look, there it is. Yeah, that's it. Down there to our right. So that is it. Right, zoom in on the plane. That's off to our right, was it? Yep, so I don't know what we've done, but we've sort of skimmed past it. So we're going right. There you go, 16 minutes, so I must have started the timer slightly slower than I thought I did. But basically, the reason I've worked out that we are going there is because I've had a look and I can see there's a joint in the bend that matches the joint in the bend of the river that is near where we're going. And therefore, we must be just a little bit too far north. Just narrowly. It's very close. But there's the river there, so I'm just going to follow the river down. Through no fault of our own, I think we've just, we've been blown by the wind more than I think I had guessed we would be. You know, rather than being 2 degrees, it's been like 5 or 6 degrees, and that means we just, you know, haven't seen where we were going. When I saw the river and we crossed it, I did think, you know, there's not rivers many around here, so, you know. So I'm drinking water, but that should be where we were, but it's, I know it was. So luckily we've got a fair bit of fuel left, so we won't be ditching anytime soon. We've got 20 minutes of fuel left. That should be enough to get us there. After this, straight leg home. It's 9 o'clock. We've been streaming since 7. It's a long flight. Long time. It's amazing how long it takes for what should be 15-minute legs. It's taken us almost 2 hours of flying to do 3 15-minute legs, to do 45 minutes of flying. I suppose they end up being like 25 minutes, so that's an hour and a half, and there's a little bit of fiddling in between, I guess. Yeah, I can see how it happens, I suppose, but wow. The aircraft has a slight pull to the left, is what I've noticed. I think it might be something to do with the wind. Right, I'm going to drop us down. 3,000. Take us down. Going down. Right, I think I can see it. I don't know if you guys can see it, so I can see it. There's a little bit clearer on my screen than it is on the streaming screen, but here we are. See the connection of the river. Looking on the navigation map. Our airport is just below the connection of the river on the inside of that connection, so our airport should be, my guesses are right, should be there. There's this red light. I don't know if you can see the red light. There's a red light there. That's the airport there. Fan-bloomin-tastic. We've got it. And then of course the airport we took off from is very easy to recognise again. It seems that like it's just about recognising rivers. That's what it's about. You know, if you haven't got a river or something, a big feature to recognise by, very difficult to recognise the airport. But we luckily have had lots of features on the last couple of ones here, so we're all good. Okay, we're going to do an overfly of the airport like we normally do, to make sure that it's all happy. There's no mowers on the runway. There's no people walking around on the runway. There's no debris on the runway. So we're going to take it nice and low, right over across the threshold, say. We're just going to have a look out the window at what we're looking at, see how it looks, see how it all looks good. This one again, we're going to take it nice and slow on the approach so that we can make sure we see everything properly. It does reset the vertical speed every time I click vertical speed, which is quite annoying. Right, it looks safest to come in from the other end. Come in down around there. Looks to me what it's safest to do. Right, keep dropping us down. There's 3,000 feet. 1,000 feet to go. Over the threshold of the runway, there we go. Nice little riverboat. A couple of things at this one, it seems a little bit more built up than the last one we were at. So what we'll do is we'll come in, land, and we'll vacate left here and park up by these buildings. So Right, there is the airport off to our left. So I got to apply power there. I've been a bad pilot and let the power drop and let the speed drop a little bit. So boost the power back up. We're looking for you're basically looking for not to have these water trails coming off the wing, because they either mean you're too fast or too slow. So we're looking not to have them, and we seem to have them all the time. So that's not good. We're getting a little bit too slow, I think. Just boost up the throttle a little bit then. That should solve our problem. So we're now going too fast. Maybe we're supposed to go slower. Right, there's the airport behind us, so I'll drop the gear. Okay. Here we go. There goes the autopilot, and we'll roll her left into the airport. Pitching up the nose, reduce our descent rate, we're going down very fast. Cool, bit of lag there, that's a bit odd. Here we go, guys. Right, airport's off to our left. Right, drop the wings. Flap 3, gear her down, reduce throttle, and go flap full. Very high angle of flap in this aircraft. So if the nose may look like it's a long way down, it is, but it's because it's got so much lift produced by the massive degree of flap that you have to have a lot of nose down to actually get the nose down. But then it stalls quite easily because there's not much ground effect, because we've got high wing. The wings are high enough above the ground so that you don't really get ground effect like you do on a normal aircraft, where you get a bit of lift over the threshold. So the flare, you suddenly kill all your speed on the flare, so you have to really watch it. So it's normally a 3-wheel landing, or a sort of flat landing. So really watching for that. Apologies, I keep looking down and left because it's where my phone is for the chat, so I was just wondering if anyone was at the chat. So that's why I keep looking down left. Right, so now what I have to do is apply a bit of power as we get lower, and the nose has to actually drop further, which makes it look like we're descending really steeply. We're really not. But as I say, it's just, that seems to be how it flies, this plane. That's what we have to do. Here we go. Very nice landing. There go the reversers. Might not even need them actually, it's quite a long runway. I'll just leave the throttle in idle. Now to slow down. Cool. Nice work. I've got to apply the power actually because it stops so well on the mud. It almost gets bogged down almost, I think, and you have to really... Oh, going a bit quick. Oh, gonna hit the tree. Tree! Ah! Oh no, I took out the tree. Right, spin her around. There's the riverboat down there. We'll stop here. Looks very nice, very nice. Okay, overhead. We go do and do. And the fuel is off, the fuel boost pump goes off. Taking from off. I turn off our strobe and beacon. That was a nice landing. I'd like to watch the replay of that one. We'll connect to the network in a minute. That's fine. That's that was a pretty good landing. So I'd like to watch that one because it's a nice airport. This one. This is I say one of the more easily recognisable ones, just because of the way it is. Right, let's skip on a bit. See what I mean about the descent? What looks to be a very steep descent, really isn't that steep. And then as you get over here, the threshold of the runway, you have to really reduce the descent rate. Yeah, very nice touchdown there. Cool. Superb. Well, welcome to this airport. The engines are off. We're going to open up the doors. I think one of the reasons it didn't start as well, the generators were still on. I don't think it really likes that. I think that, we're trying to, really work the engines hard on the starter motor. I think that caused part of the problem at the start last time. So, let's get up our navigator stable and work out the final leg. I'll just quickly connect back up to the network. And file our flag plan again. There we go. Okay, here we go. Moving back over. Bear with me. Grab my notepad. There we go. Right. Our navigation desk, then. The most important thing to a bush flyer, really. The map, that is really definitely the most important thing. So, move the microphone out of the way. Right, there we go. So we know we've got 10.5 centimetres. That's how long this leg is. So, again with the calculator, 10.5 times 3.63 is 38.115. That is our miles, so it's 38.115 nm. So this is a lot shorter than some of the other ones, so this should be a little bit faster. So now we're going to do 38.115 in a fraction over our speed again, which with a slight wind should be about 151. Times it by 60, because that gets it in minutes, and we get 15.1 minutes. We'll just round it to make life easy. There's going to be a 15-minute flight leg. So, we now know the 15 minutes. However, we need to measure the heading of our route. There's the position. Balance there, that's good. Happy with that. Coming from the 0 position, then we've got 60. There's 65, I'd say 63. 63. Okay, and then we've got to do 180 plus 63. Because that'll give our heading. 243 degrees. There we go. That is the heading of our leg today. So we've got 243 degrees, and it's going to take us 15 mins. We could calculate the wind pushing us across, because there might be a slight bit of cross push, as we say. So if we move the map just to the side, take a new page of paper, flip that one out of the way. Okay, right. So we got our point up here, 243 degrees. So what do we say? That was 180 plus 63. So we line it up with the neutral, and we're looking for 63. That's about there. And then it is 10.5 centimeters long on the map, but we're looking for speed, so we're doing it 153, so it needs to be 15.3 centimeters long. There's the ruler. That's what I was looking for. 15.3 centimeters. We can only do 15. That's about good enough, to be honest. That should do. Good. So we're heading down this direction. We've then got 3 knots of wind pushing us this way. So the effect is that if we were pointing down this way, we drift further and further across that way. So you've got to draw the wind from this direction. So we're going to draw, funny enough, 3 centimeters at 90 degrees of it. So 90 degrees about there. 3 centimeters takes us to there. That's 3 centimeters there. We're now going to connect up this. Sorry, my arm's in the way, to this. Nice line down there. This line here then, this one. Take the heading of this line, and that will give us the heading of our flight. So from 63, which was the original one. So what I'm going to do is make that one 63. There it was. We're now down to 58. There's quite a big degree change. So we're looking at 58 degrees for 15.1 mins. And here we go for our final leg then. So, for the last time, leaving the navigator's position, switching back to the main flight deck. Now it is going dark, so we do need to get a move on. It's going dark in northern Brazil, so we do need to get a move on. Our arrival airport is SJMH, so I'll just put that. I'll keep that here with me so I can see what it looks like. Looking for that cross section of the runway. Alright, there you go. It's on the navigator's position for you guys. Get that out of the way. So we're going to be flying, what did we say? We said we're going to be flying at 58 degrees. So, look down here. instead of 58 degrees. 60 on 2 and 58. We'll go up to about, what, 6,000. That seemed like a good altitude. I was happy with that. Boost pumps 1, boost pumps 2, mixtures into the full rich position. Primers 1 and 2 are on. The fuel's been set, the fuel pressure's good. We didn't reset our fuel, that's what I forgot to do. Ooh, that could have been bad. Reset to about 44 minutes of flight time. Payload wise, we can take a little bit more for this one back. Quite a big runway on arrival. We'll apply the changes, there we go. And we'll start the left engine. And we've got one engine running. Here we go, we get the next one up. Look at the RPM. She's alive. Flap 3. Lots of power spinning around. I want to get going now. It's getting dark here in the game. And as a bush flyer, we do not want to be flying at night. What I've done here, I've got the right pedal locked. And that's how I'm doing the steering. Right, we're going to get a bump. There's a bump here in the ground, so we want to watch this. Oh, slamming over the bump. At full power. Go, 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 go. Every bit of thrust we can. 95, 96, 97%. It's increasing. 98, 99. There's 100%. That's as much power as we're going to get. It's rising. Oh, I left the doors open. Crikey. Ah. Close. That's crazy. I can't believe I forgot that. Oopsie. Right, coming on to heading. The doors are all open. Oopsie. Right, let's bring her around. Bring her around. I've got the gear down still for the turn. I'll just make the turn and then we'll deal with all that so I can start the timer. Right, there's the heading. Timer start now. Allowing the speed to build. Gear up. Flaps dry. Flaps to 2. Flaps to 1. Keep allowing it to build. Flaps to uno. And flaps to nil. We'll get the autopilot on because, as I said before, I'm not a very good pilot when it comes to sort of, you know, holding the headings properly for all this stuff. Make sure we get that nicely on the headings. But to be honest, I don't think many of us are at this. Vertical speed mode. Increase to that there. There we go, that'll do. 130 coming through. And there we go, 45 seconds into our 15-minute journey for this one. And this one will be 15 minutes. I can see the airport we're arriving to. We could cross the runway. We know this airport. Big runway. I say runway, dirt strip. So it should be our final arrival. So please, if you haven't already, do hit the like and subscribe button. We are breaking, we're not really breaking records, but we're doing well. So please keep hitting the like and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. So thank you very much to all those who do. We're on 149. So to this stream. So thank you very much to all those who subscribe during this stream. It's much appreciated. Cool. Right, 145 or so. Keep it going. I'm applying more and more RPM width here. Oh no! Missing scenery. There is no scenery. Well, I have nothing but awesome. Missing files. Download the missing scenery for free through Steam. Right click on Xplane scenery. Okay. I'll have to continue with water only then. Not seen that error before. Don't know what it means. Maybe I deleted the file. I don't know. I don't know what I did. Maybe the scenery I've got isn't being applied then because of that. We'll go away. Level off, level off. Ooh. The clouds have come down again. The clouds have definitely come back down. They've definitely dropped, must have dropped, because we're suddenly lower than we was expecting. Cool, back off the speed we're doing at 160, we've got to slow it down a little bit. Slow it down. A little bit less. Cool. Right, there we go. Just about holding. 4 minutes. To our 15-minute legs. We've got 11 minutes of flight left. And this is our last leg. When we get on the ground, then I will we'll probably roll the replay for that touchdown, and then I'll cue the outro. So, as I was saying, thank you very much to all those who subscribed. That was it was a good fun stream. I'm streaming tomorrow, BA146. So please do join us for that. That should be good fun. I'm just reducing throttle level a little bit more than 150. Take it down a little bit.
Unable to find view ID 6.
Good. That's 150 holding. Just check how long it's been on time. 5 minutes and 20, so we just got 10 minutes to go. All about balancing the throttle, looking at the oil pressures, looking at our gasket pressures, temperatures, make sure we're all in the green zones. Quite often it's very easy to leave it on high power. I've done it during this flight once already. Left it on a bit of high power and you notice suddenly you're right up in the red zone of the throttle. That's not good, that's not where we want to be. So remember to drop it back down. But yeah, I'm looking forward to flying into London City and flying out of it in the BA146. I've spoken to some people who've used to fly it, and so I've got a bit of tips, so hopefully it can bring a bit more context to you, because it's a more realistic, more like it should be. So, you know, that's cool. I just want, you know, I like bringing detail to these things, so it's nice to be able to, when I can, bring more and more detail to you guys. So, anywhere I can, that's all good. All generators. Boom, boom, and switch them on. Could have been bad. We had lots of power left in the battery, so we probably would have been alright. They can last about 2 hours, the batteries, but when you're doing, you know, if I'd have forgotten to switch them on, say, the first time and hadn't switched them on the whole way through, we'd have run out, for sure. Good. Yeah. So thanks all for watching. It's been really good fun. We're just over 7 minutes. So we got just over 7 minutes to go. We're just passing through the 7-minute point in our flight here. We might be a little bit low to go over these hills here. Okay, looks nice, Gil. I'm just literally balancing the throttles. Notice I'm looking at the dials on the right hand side. I'm making sure over here we're in the green. I'm making sure they're lined up together, fairly symmetrical. You don't want it looking like this, for example. You know, you don't want them one way higher than the other. You want them nice and symmetrical to the best that we can. So I'm basically just varying the throttle, which is interesting on this plane. The throttle's on the roof, as it is in lots of bush planes, such as de Havilland, Twin Otter. Lots of planes have it over the roof. Interesting places, mostly just airliners and military jets, and jets have them on the bottom. These prop planes seem to all have them on the top, and then also in some prop planes have pushing into the dash, so a pull out and push in lever on the dashboard that they use, but all sorts of weird, random stuff for where they put them. I guess it's easier, is it, in a prop plane to just decide where you put them? Must be something to do with that. Right, recognition of our arrival airport. Then we're coming in from the west, going towards the east. You can see it there on the navigation table. So we're going to come in from that west, and you can see the airport in the north position facing there. We come right across all of that grass and forest. I see a bit of a river ahead of us. That's it. I can't tell by the look of the map if it's mountainous or not, but I know we got a big river. It's stationed on the zoomed in version. It's got that nice approach low over the river. From memory, I don't believe it is very mountainous around it, so I don't really know, to be honest, what it is like, so we'll just have to look as we come in and sort of match the river shape to the other river shapes, rather than just sort of assuming if it's mountainous or not, and why it could be. There's a lot of rivers around here. On that zoomed out map, which I took in Xplane, by the way, so it should match exactly what we're seeing, it's got two very large ones. It doesn't often show when you zoom out the smaller ones, but they're quite big rivers, these ones, so hopefully, it only sees the big ones, only sees the big rivers. Loads of mountains around here, look. But here's a gap, here's a river. Right, let's have a look, see. Oh, right, there's a join in the river. Join. Right hand one. Are we flying towards this? We are flying directly towards that point that we were looking at over there. So I think we have it perfect. Long way to go. I don't know if I'm going a bit slow or whatever. Looks like we got a long way to go. And we've only got 4 minutes of time left. So that I calculated, so I don't know, that could be slightly wrong. I mean, it's lovely, lovely scenery. Look at all these mountains and hills and everything. That's pretty cool. Should we head back into the down here? We're carrying, looks to be like drinks. That's food. Spam. We're carrying spam. Someone screenshot that. We're carrying spam on board today. Very vital food. Loadmaster seems very happy. We've got the oil down here. What's this? No. Jungle juice. Bob's own jungle juice. Okay. And we've got some sort of crates, deliveries, I'm assuming. In the back. Cool. Looks good. Turn off for landing and taxi lights, actually I forgot to do that. so we'll make sure we turn them off. Now they're off, I'm happy with that. We can make sure the generators are on, we're looking at the power. Everything's settling nicely, look, everything's in the green or below in the blue, which with the RPM is alright for cruise to be in the blue. That's alright. That's alright. Everything else we really want in the green. So we've got 2 minutes of flight time left. Rex, you like cheese? Is that Rex? I just only seen the message, I hadn't seen who it was. Yeah, it is you. I like cheese. Well, yeah, cheese is good food. I can't complain. Cheese is good. Yeah. I feel you. This is actually de Havilland, Canada that built this Caribou. Interesting fact. Operated by the Royal Australian Air Force. I was going to fly the Royal Australian livery, but then I decided that a civil sort of gold would look just as nice. Right, over that one at the end there. We haven't got too long left of this, so I think, according to my stopwatch, we've got just over a minute, but then looking at what the airport looks like and where it is, it's looking for a big river. We were heading directly towards the big river that I think it was in a minute ago when I zoomed out on the view. So I think, even if we do take slightly more than 15 minutes just to continue, because if we zoom out, look, you can see right past all this mountain range. Oh, look, here is a river that joins with another river. And then there's like a light patch, I assume that's some sort of runway. If not, and there's like a runway over here. Basically, there'll be something around here, because that's a big river. And we're fairly close to it, so we'll just keep going. I'm going to do one quick check of the moving map, because I don't... Oh no, we're not heading anywhere near where we should be. We should be heading down here. Where are we going? We're going 06... 058. Did I do the wrong thing? What did I do? Oh no, we're not heading in anywhere near the right direction. Crikey, we're heading completely north. The upshot is our line was very straight. We're drawn a straight line. But this is not so good. There is a runway up here, which we'll have to land at for fuel. But that is that's not good. That's not good at all. 053. Now I think about it. Yeah, why would we be heading on that heading? I think I did 2180. What was the actual thing? Oh, let me have a look at the navigation map. But we'll have to make the landing at this place and call it there. Yeah. Well, I just didn't correct the heading from last time. I did the same heading as we did last time. I just didn't correct it. I don't know why I've done 053. I think that's what I was adding. So we're basically heading on completely the wrong heading. There, fortunately, is an airport up here. It says, I think it's asphalt. It says here, look, let's have a look, details. 1010. Baraku. Okay. Well, the navigation table then has lied to us. We're not in where we thought it was. This is not the airport. We've actually headed from this point. We've actually headed up north, completely out of the way. This is not good. Mr. Jones, you said you got back from cadets. Good. Well, I guess I'll take this opportunity then to promote the merchandise whilst we've got a minute here. But go ahead and get your Pillar Pilot mug as I demonstrate now. Oh, bump the camera. A really high quality product that I really can recommend. I like drinking my tea from it. It's very good. And then a high quality mask. Really worth it. And then I have got a pillow too. I get a slight discount as a producer, but it's well, definitely worth it, people. There you go. That's the sun setting. Well, I guess we've messed up then slightly. I don't know what I did. I just I've not been following the heading at all. Sorry about that, guys. That's a right shame. Luckily, there is an airport in this heading, so we'll have to set it down there. But I was looking forward to going back to there. That's why there's no scenery around here. That's why the scenery is bad, because, of course, there is no scenery for around here. Right, take main control. We'll have to hope that there is a bit of a landing spot or something. If there's not, we're out of options. I don't think I've got enough fuel to return back. Which is poor flying, actually. That's poor of me, because I should have enough fuel so that it can get out somewhere like this and head back. Because, of course, when we're landing in rough, tricky spots like this, you never know if you can actually make it down, so you might have to turn around and head back. So it's poor of me to have not refueled enough, so I do apologise for that. That is not setting the example we'd want. Right, it should be down. It says it's down here. Is it this side of the river? It doesn't think there's a river. I don't think that there is. I don't think there is anything. I don't know. It said the scenery. We had that warning saying the scenery had gone wrong. I just assumed, you know, oh, that's a problem, but I didn't think it was because we're heading the wrong direction, I think. I probably messed up there, guys. Not too sure where we should go, actually. If there's no runway, there's a sort of spot over there we might have to put it down on. Yeah, there's no runway here. Alright, I've got a plan. It's alright. What we'll do, back off throttle. I've got a plan. Feather the props. Watch the speed die. There's a little bit of a beige patch over there. I'm going to try and bring her in for a touchdown over there. Seems like the best spot. It's got no trees on it. Everywhere else has got trees. Time to demonstrate the amazing power of the Caribou, as I take it in to something you and I would think is almost unlandable. I don't know, something like that. We're gonna land. We're gonna land here because I haven't got enough fuel to go anywhere else. We've got the fuel warnings coming up now. Okay. It's not flat. I thought it might be at least be flat. Here we go. It's gonna be a bumpy one. Oh! Whoa! I think I killed everyone on board there. Oh! We've basically crash landed our final. Oh! 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 Oh no! That did not go so well. Oh. Holy Jesus! Haha! Yeah, I know. Basically, look, this is the situation with what happened. Okay, this is how we ended up there. I'm not pleased about this. This is not good. Okay, for some unknown reason, we were supposed to go from here. You see, we flew all this nicely with navigation charts. Realised we'd gone too far. Span around, went back. Here we made a great work of it. I saw that, turned around, we landed nicely. Here again with good work. Realised we were supposed to land there. But then for this one, we just headed in the wrong direction. I just headed in the wrong direction. I don't know why. I followed the heading nicely. You can see that perfect straight line. I think I did adding wrong. I think I added wrong or something. And for some reason, we're just completely not where we thought we are. So what I'm going to do, so that you can't see, I'm going to quickly drag us across here. We're going to be doing... We're doing 140 or so. Power on. Okay. At least it made a better boat than plane. No, Jones Aviation, no. This has been going very well until you showed up. I blame you. Don't quote my beautiful Caribou. Oh, I broke the props. Oops, okay, hold on. Edit failures. Systems. Right, welcome back to our push flying adventure. Right, full power, let's go, go, go. Let's get the speed back up. Okay, so basically we've been continuing our push flight, and we're now about to land at SJMH. Welcome, guys, to the final touchdown of our stream. Today we'll be landing at SJMH. It's our final leg of our journey. We departed here about 2 hours 45 minutes ago, to be exact, and we're now going to bring it back in. I think, is it there? Have a look at how the runway is orientated. Yeah, thought so. So we need to go right. Okay, no worries. Roll it right. Full flap, gear down. She's manoeuvring well. Okay. Right, we're looking at that. We're looking at the airport. There we go. We're keeping eyes on the airport, eyes on the speed, eyes on the airport, eyes on the speed, attitude, heading. Because no ILS, we're not looking at ILS, so we're just looking at speed and pitch of the nose we can tell by just looking out the window, so we don't need to worry about that. We're more looking about that speed, and we need to get it down because it's going dark now, so we need to put the plane down. Got about 20 minutes of fuel, so here it is. We're coming in over the river, flap and gear down. Here's the runway. That's where we started. Idle throttle. And we're down. Cool. That's a nice landing actually. That's better than the ones we've been doing. And we're down, full reverse on the props, and we'll spin around and take it back to a parking space, so make sure not to hit the trees. Just clip that one there. Right, these runways are so narrow. Right, full rudder, lock the right brake, full steering wheel, spin it around on the sixpence. There we go. Around. Just drag her back down to where we departed, and then we'll watch the replay. Requires a lot of throttle to keep it moving, especially on these dirt. You see all the dirt coming off, being thrown up by the wheels. It's a real dirty dirt track here. As soon as I idle the throttle, look, that's not even idle. That's about 50%. It pretty much comes to a stop. There's a lot of grip. I guess a lot of friction as we try and roll along. That's why the takeoff rolls are so slow. I gotta watch it here. I might go into the river. Don't want to damage this plane, but we do want to spin it around, so a bit of power, put the flaps up, get to the edge here, and then we're going to make a complete almost 180, which is not very good at doing. Oh, speeding up a bit too much. Oh, it should go over the top of that plane. Power up on the left engine, that'll spin us around. There we go, look at that. Boom. Boom! Literally back where we started. And we'll cut the engines. Engine 1 and 2, ignition goes off. Boost pumps, fuel selectors, gens 1 and 2. Open up the doors and the engine cowlings because I'll need some work after a day's flying. And we'll turn off our strobe, nav and beacon. And we'll look down, we'll get the primer 1 and 2 off. Make sure the fuel gauges are off, looking to the overhead. Props can be feathered for stable. Look to the centre. I think we turn off radio saying, I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll disconnect from VAT Simulator. There we go, off VAT Sim. This is a very interesting landing. What do you mean a very interesting landing? No, look, very interesting landing site. Oh yeah. Doesn't even look like a runway. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Well, we'll do the replay and you can have a look. It's well, it isn't really, is it? I mean, it's a rough strip, as we call it. It's a proper. Main inverters go off, battery goes off, and the aircraft's stable. So what I'm going to do is quickly, I'm going to shut up all the doors, so that at least for the replay it looks all right. Shut the doors. There we go. Cool. And let's go for the replay. Let's have a look at this. Because you think, you say like we did like a 300 feet per minute touchdown, but of course in a bush plane, that's not bad. So here we are. Can we get tower view? Does that work? Yes. Let's go free camera. Watch it come right in over the beach. The plane's on its way. You're watching from this building, you think, my God, he's high. But that's how it looks. Here we are. Here it comes. The cargo delivery. Here we go. Wow. That was a serious descent rate. And he's down. That would be so cool to witness that. I'm sorry, from here that'd be like literally super cool. That would be so cool if we could actually. That was it'd be so cool to witness the landing, and of course be the pilot landing it in these kind of places. But you watch this, our final turn we're making properly late here. Look how high we are, and we still put it down very nicely. So push the name down, lift the nose up, and nicely let it sink onto the ground. A lovely landing for a lovely plane. That was very nice. You've been flying the Hot Start TBM-9. Very nice. Good choice of plane. That's a nice plane. I still prefer the Caribou. I think this is absolutely lovely plane. And we taxi back into the stand. I opened up File Explorer, I didn't need that. I thank you to everyone who joined us today. And I thank you to everyone who subscribed and said hello. So thank you very much, everyone. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're seeing the... Wait, hold on, sorry. Tomorrow we are flying the... I've lost my words. Tomorrow we're flying the, what's it called? BA-146, that's it. BA-146, London City to... oh, goodness me, I'm losing my mind. We're flying London City to Edinburgh, and Edinburgh to London City to do the infamous London City approaches and London City departures. So it's scheduled for 10 o'clock. It'll be more like 11 o'clock, 10:30 maybe, because I haven't had a line in a while. So I might push that back just a little bit. Very much skill at the end though, thank you. Gotta love when I blow up the engines and have to spend 800k of fake monies. That's cool. You gotta introduce me to that. That looks like that sounds cool. To have to actually sort out the currency and stuff. But yeah, big shout out to everyone who subscribed. I thank you all very much, guys. That was a really great fun. I definitely want to do another stream like that again. I think that was super cool. So we will 100% be doing that again sometime. So thank you everyone, and I'll catch you all another time. But that's about it from me. Thank you. If you have anything to add, send it in the comments, join the Discord. There's a link up in the stream, up in the chat. That is definitely, that's a link that works. I've been told some of the other ones don't work, so try that one. Thank you all very much everyone, and I'll catch you all another time. Bye bye.